Nightline security. He's going to explain it all to us. We're trying to get Ryan the lieutenant on. He did Taylor Swift security for like 9 years.
Nice.
And now we're going to.
Now he's going to try to smoke.
Oh, here we go. Oh, Lizzie. Oh. Answer the bell. Lizzie. All right, one more throw, all right?
All right, one
You do
more
one
throw.
Okay. You can go first, please.
Okay.
In your jacket.
In my jacket.
Thanks, Greg, for holding that, bud.
Okay, in my candy striper waist.
And then we got Tori Allen, a country music up-and-coming star. She's joining us at 9:30 in the studio today. Oh, I thought you're doing the slide technique.
I am doing the slide technique. That really did the slide.
Bad.
Overshooting.
There we go.
Oh, I thought.
All right. So there was no volume that entire time.
Wow.
Well, there was very little.
Do we have volume now?
We have volume now.
Oh, you didn't get the valve in one. And
No, not the big cheer. No. All right.
Our morning cornhole game. Sorry, a little nervous energy off. Gets me set for the event. The event that is canceled is coming up for the next 2 hours.
you coming in here, Megan?
Yeah. I'll be right. Yeah, we can start.
Bye, guys.
Good try. What, 10 years since I did this last? Yeah, that's why I played goalie.
We got to get you on camera. We got to get you on the damn website, and we got to get you playing cornhole with us.
100%.
I think tomorrow, here's what we could do. We'll have a tournament. Lizzie and I will go at it.
Yeah, we will.
16 throws.
Okay, 16 throws.
And then I got to learn how to actually score cornhole because I don't know how to score it.
I am not wearing this jacket tomorrow. I'm just going to wear my sweatpants tomorrow. This jacket got in the way.
Oh, man. Welcome to Cancel This, everybody. Hope you're doing well on a Tuesday. September 19th. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks. Pro Joe in the house as well. We've got this Vegas story to talk about today. If anybody doesn't know yet, massive security breach going on in Vegas. You wouldn't think of all the places, one of the entertainment industries of America, taken hostage, literally. I think like 31 hotels. Friends of ours that on Winty's, Ben and Marla, they were there last week. They couldn't use their credit cards. They didn't even get a bill yet. No bill.
That's crazy.
Also, another listener from the show, Mary Jo Williams-Jeggy, she is going to join us. at about 8:15. As a matter of fact, she just texted me. I need to send our link to her at a different number right now. So we're going to talk with Vinny Troya from Nightline Security as well. He is oh shoot, can you? I can't do two things at once. Can you tell what's going on in Vegas, and then Tori? I've got to do a different link here.
Yes, we can. Vegas is, if any of you guys have not been paying attention to what's going on in Vegas, I know I wasn't paying attention that close, but we have to be very careful in America with our security right now, because the biggest thing that I think is going to be hitting this country is not the obvious, because we already know what the obvious is. We already know that the left is coming after our voices, and they're coming after our voices by censoring.
Is it the left? Did the left take down the hotels?
Yes, I do think the left took down the hotels.
That's awesome.
I do think the left. Okay, then who do you think did it?
Ransom. People who want ransom.
Yeah, but who do you think that is?
I don't know. Anybody that wants money.
And we all want money. I mean,
no, I mean terrorist groups,
money.
Terrorist organizations, Chinese, Americans, anybody.
Correct. I do think it could be anybody, but I absolutely think if it has anything to do with China, it does have to do with the left, because Joe Biden is literally beholden to China.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
So I really do believe that the cyber attack has everything to do with hurting Americans. Who wants to hurt Americans more than anyone is our own government. Of course, we get the obvious that it's China who is wanting to hurt us, and they want to censor everything that we say. And so many people want to get rid of TikTok because they think that China is coming to get us. But that's not what this is all about. I mean, because if you get rid of TikTok, you need to get rid of everything because they're coming after it all. And there is cyber attacks. That is, you're going to notice that more and more of that is going to happen. That is how other countries, along with the left, are going to try to take us down next.
Well,
it's a big deal.
We got a lot of that going on.
We sure do.
Tori Allen coming up at 9:30. You won't want to miss her. Country music star, up and comer. Kevin Malutnik is her sponsor. So he had asked me about having her on the show, bringing her on. I'm like, yeah, let's bring Tori on. She just got off tour, opening for the Killers. Anybody doesn't know them, I like that band. So anyway, we'll talk to her at about 9:30. Lots to get into with all of this going on today. Some great guests. Vinny Troya, Nightline Security. How you can protect yourself. What do you need to know? What's going on the dark web? A lot of that stuff. First, we're going to give you a look at our sponsors, our advertisers, our partners. Check them out. Let them know. You heard about them on Cancel This. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes as we start this podcast on Tuesday, September 19th.
House has the largest selection of solid wood with the hottest new styles. Real furniture that's built to last, like our solid bedrooms, living rooms, and dining from Kincaid. Our volume enables us to save you a lot of money, especially during our solid wood sale. Plus, get free financing, fast free delivery, and free in-home design. So for solid wood, sweet styles, and solid service since 1964, shop over 3 football fields of furniture at Carroll House, because you like nice things.
Marco. Wait, what? No response? Hi, I'm Curtis Barks with Complete Auto Body and Repair, offering full service and auto repair to St. Louis and St. Charles. We are looking for someone to say polo. That's right, we are hiring. We want you now. If you would like to work in a well-paying environment, then you owe it to yourself to stop by one of our 6 Complete Auto Body and Repair locations. Will you help me find that missing person? Please call me directly at 636-488-HIRE. That's right, 636-488-4473.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixes cars.
Kathy O. Big Strick, owner of Experienced Real Estate Partners with EXP, has been one of St. Louis, Missouri's highest selling groups for 26 years running. In that time, Kathy and her team have successfully assisted an incredible 4,000 families. So if you're thinking about buying, building, or selling, be sure to put Kathy's group and their experience to work for you, and you can expect to be moved. Just give her a call at 314-276-SOLD. That's 314-276-7653, or find her online at experience-re.com.
Attention, anyone who served, lived, or worked at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987. Camp Lejeune's drinking water was dangerously toxic, and base personnel and their families have since suffered cancer and other illnesses. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and were diagnosed with cancer, you may be eligible for significant compensation. Call the Driscoll firm now. Consultations are free, and you won't pay a fee unless we get you the money you deserve. 1-800-805-4800.
As all of you may know, the home of the Cancel This studio is located at the all-inclusive private jet hangar, Strategic Air Services. Founded in Chesterfield, Missouri, they take pride in offering a meticulous approach to private aviation through services that fully manage your trip from takeoff to landing. Strategic Air Services is more than just storage for your aircraft. They offer state-of-the-art amenities to its members and guests. When you are not traveling, you have the luxury of enjoying their world-class gym, conference rooms, lounges, and so much more. Strategic Air Services offers an unparalleled luxury experience for all things private aviation. If you're looking for a new place to call home for your aircraft, give them a call today at 636-400-7601. Again, that's 636-400-7601, or visit their website at strategicairservices.net.
Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, if you don't know, is a family-owned business that has been around since 1994, serving some of the best chicken wings in town, no joke. Also known for their fresh burgers, pizza, and incredible smoked meat. Top-notch happy hour specials are included, plus live music every Friday and Saturday. Oh yeah, you can also enjoy their spacious heated covered patio. It's Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road. Hey guys, welcome back into cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks. We've got Projo in the house as well. Thanks for jumping in on a Tuesday, September 19th. It is cancelthisshow.com. We're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central and all the time. On our website at cancelthisshow.com, bringing you news headlines, politics. We've got cancel culture education, all kinds of interviews, business, you name it, and entertainment. We've got a little entertainment coming up today at 9:30. Tori Allen, country music up-and-comer. She'll be joining us. She was on tour with the Killers. She's opened up had quite a career already, which has been great. And then we're going to talk here just in a few minutes. We'll get into what's happening with your security, cybersecurity, how to protect yourself, what's going on with all kinds of situations. Might even ask Benny Trey about the brand new iPhone. I heard some issues when it came to the iPhone. I believe it's the 17, if you're safe using that as well. So we're here. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks. Who won our cornhole game to start? Did we even have a score today, really?
I think we were tied.
Okay.
Yesterday, I kicked your butt by one.
Yeah, you did. You beat me yesterday. So
I'm going to say kicked your butt. It was only by
we
one.
do cornhole. We do cornhole starting the show off right now. I like it.
It's fun.
So it works. Good morning to you all. It's a live podcast. That's why we appreciate you jumping in when you can. More people listen and then take our show via video and or straight audio than after the show, after the live hours of 8 to 10 Central. But those who jump in, you're a part of the show. We appreciate it. Thanks for jumping in. Thanks for giving us your advice. Derek Pratt, who will be in tomorrow with us as well, reminds everybody the merchandise store is up. We have local pickup available at cancelthisshow.com. You'll click on the merch store, blue little icon. It'll call up the store for you. You can check that out. You can also send us stars as well. The stars is done on Facebook. We appreciate when you do that, showing your support for the show and what we have going on. All right. And by the way, I was looking at this yesterday. I saw a couple of our viewers, listeners going at each other on Donald Trump or Ron DeSantis. Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis. We don't need to get divided.
Right.
It's all right to have different opinions.
It is.
And I meant to get to it yesterday. It's all right. You know what? You can like Trump. You can hate Trump. You can like DeSantis. You can hate DeSantis. At the end of the day, you have to be on the same team.
Correct. And we can have differences on the same team, but that just shows that the division that's in our country is also on the
It's a Democrat's fault, isn't it?
It's always the Democrats' fault. It is the Democrats' fault. They get into our heads.
First, it is funny when we start talking about that. Let's talk about what's going on in Vegas, because Ben, we were going to have Ben on the show today, Ben Kahn. he and Marla own Wendy's, advertiser with the show. They were in Vegas last week, and they couldn't use their credit card. He still doesn't have a bill from the hotel he was at. I can't even remember the hotel he was staying at. No bill. Still.
Mm-mm.
I don't even know if they're going to charge him, or if they charge him, how do they know what's going on?
Right.
So they had cash. They use cash. They're not the only ones. Another show viewer, listener that we have is Mary Jo Williams Yagi. She now joins us live from Vegas this morning. And Mary Jo, when you get a chance, would love to see. I just saw your head pop up just a little bit.
It's almost like she was a whack-a-mole. Like, as soon as her head pops up, we whack her.
So if you can hear us, Mary Jo,
she is.
Hey, how are you, Mary Jo?
Good morning. I'm in my bed head.
Okay, put it this way. You're a trooper for joining us this morning live from Vegas. It's only 6:12 where you are, correct?
Yes.
Okay, it's early. You went to Vegas. You have been dealing with some of this stuff. What the hell is going on with Vegas? What are some of the things that you've been dealing with or information that you've heard, Mary Jo? We appreciate you reaching out to us and letting us know. Okay, maybe we lost her link.
Looks like she froze.
Yeah, it might. We'll try.
There she is. There she is. Okay.
Mary Jo, when you get a chance, go ahead and tell us what's been going on with you. And then when Mary Jo gets done, we're going to bring Vinny Troy in from Nightline Security, who is one of the best cybersecurity experts you're going to find based out of the St. Louis area as well. So Mary Jo, give us an update on what you're dealing with.
Yes, we arrived here last Wednesday, and we have friends out in Vegas, and we were told that they were under attack, but they were not publicizing it. So we decided to come on to Vegas on Wednesday. It started on the Sunday before. So now we're on 9 days. We got here Wednesday. We were going to celebrate Jeff's 59th birthday. We are staying at an MGM property, and we got our rental car, no problem. We got on the property, and they said nobody could check in till 3 o'clock. And by 3 o'clock, the lines, some places at MGM properties were 100 deep or more. They wrapped around the whole building. Fortunately for us, we got to check in on VIP, and it didn't take us any time to check in. But you had to physically fill out a form, and they gave you a old key type card. It wasn't really updated, and they actually did not. I looked at the MGM site today, and it has not been updated for 4 days. Last night, they had started a few machines to come back up, but it did not register your card, which, if you understand, a card is what you put into a machine to get rewards. So if you were playing and got down to a penny, they had to come and record that on your machine. And the line for the cashier, because they couldn't give out money, you couldn't use an ATM, you couldn't check your comps, you couldn't use your food credits. So the lines just for the cashier alone, and not knowing if you were going to be recorded for using your play, really, the casinos, all the MGMs that we went to, which, as Vic told earlier, there were 31 casinos. And
oh my God, 31.
Wow.
And this is in the international, MGM International. They got 31 casinos and I guess hotel type properties. They also own part of T-Mobile Arena, where the Golden Knights play hockey and other concerts and things happen. It was working fine, they said, to get in there, but employees said they weren't getting paid, and that made, for a bad experience. You couldn't talk to any.
We're talking with Mary Jo. Okay, we got Mary Jo Williams Yagi. I'm sorry to cut you off. I was just real quick. I'm glad that you're joining us, and I know it's early there, and not to make light of your situation. It almost looks like you're in shelter, which
it does make it look
It
like
kind of is.
yeah, she looks like she's
The
in
people that came in Sunday had an 8-hour wait.
An 8-hour wait.
Wow.
Wait, an 8-hour wait
to
for
check
what?
in to get into your hotel room.
So why are you still there 9 days later or 8 days later?
Because airfare to get back, it was just cheaper to stay here because we will not be charged. And we would go off site to other places that would register our play.
Dang.
And I came after 9/11. I came after the shooting that happened out here for the Country Music Festival. Everything was operable, even though it was very slow then. You don't see the foot traffic. You don't see the people in the casinos. If you do, they're sitting around just on a chair just to relax, or maybe waiting for.
I'm sure it's a big news story out in Vegas, and we've got Vinny Troy on with Nightline Security with us. He is a cybersecurity expert, and we can bring Vinny in. Vinny, hopefully you can hear us. And I don't know if you heard what our guest was talking about. First of all, it's great to see you. I've worked with you before. I did stories for you in the St. Louis area on local news. You've blown me away with your knowledge, with what your company can do, how it can protect people. What have you been able to find out, or what happened? Who took over all of these Vegas properties? I don't think we've ever seen anything like this in our country, have we? Or we just didn't know about it? Okay, we don't have Vinny right now. We need to. We don't.
I can answer that one.
Vinny, we just need to check and see if we can get your volume. We're checking to see on that. I'm sure. I don't know if it's on our end or your end. We'll check that really quick. Okay, so Mary Jo, while we get Vinny up really quick, what did you have to say with that, Mary Jo?
What I've read, it's 2 weeks before this, or a week before this happened, Caesar's property, which is not as many properties, they had the same thing happen to them. They tried to keep it hush hush and paid $15 million. MGM Properties is losing billions a day, but they're not going to come out and say how much they're losing.
No, that's insane.
The way they hacked in was they got somebody's profile off of LinkedIn, and they called the help desk, and in 10 minutes they were into the system. MGM's telling people that they cut it off in time, that they did not get any information. It's called an alpha group. The Panther group is what they're going by.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to bring Vinny in for, because Vinny, I know you know a lot of the underground activity and things that are going on. First of all, we welcome in Vinny.
Thanks for having me.
Lion Security. You've had a chance to look at this. What kind of groups are doing this? How easy is this to do to take down Vegas? Because it seems like it's a massive undertaking.
I mean, unfortunately it's not as secure as, say, like an Ocean's 11 movie, but
Yeah.
You know, and thanks for having me on, by the way. But you know, I mean, she's right. Unfortunately, I mean, this did start with a phone call. Somebody impersonated an employee that, you know, they got their information on LinkedIn. Then they called the help desk. They were able to get the help desk to give some credentials, and then from there they were able to go in and kind of go forth and conquer. You know, exactly what systems they took over at that point, I don't know. I will say that Caesars was smart enough to pay and get their systems restored. We don't really know that MGM hasn't paid. The problem is, a lot of times with technology, when you turn a bunch of things off, they don't really turn back on. And so they could be struggling with just literally trying to just recover all of these systems. They may have the access they need. We don't know. I mean, they haven't issued any sort of statement that they've made a payment. After 9 days, I would be surprised if they were going to hold out this long for a ransom payment. There's no amount that they would have paid made up for their losses at this point. So it doesn't, there are many, actually in most situations I take that back. In many situations, it makes sense to pay the ransom. If in the event that you have backups or things like that, and you don't want to, and that's great. But in this situation where there's people waiting for 8+ hours just to get in, I would have just gone to another hotel. But that's me. But you pay and you move on and you learn your lesson, and they've got the money to pay. So I don't know why they wouldn't have. I think right now it's more for them a question of rebuilding the infrastructure.
Gosh, that's Vinny Troya with Night Lion Cybersecurity. I've done several stories with him in the past in local news regarding keeping yourself protected when it comes to cybersecurity issues, the dark web, and so forth. We've also got Mary Jo Williams-Jaggi on the line. She is in Vegas at the hotel. She's been there 9 days. Vinny, what kind of ransom are we talking about? I mean, what's the going rate for a Vegas hotel?
I mean, Caesars paid $15 million. I think that's pretty, reasonable. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Alpha Group came in and started with, let's say, $100 million, and ransom groups all expect to be negotiated, and actually, ransom negotiations are pretty much the core of what I do now. Right? Companies call me in, and I help them negotiate down with these ransom people, try to get the ransom to a more reasonable, value. So it's all part of the process. But realistically, there's no way that they're going to budge for less than 20 or 30 million. And I think that's fair given how much money MGM has. Not to mention they have insurance. The insurance is paying this thing out anyway.
Okay, that's interesting.
This is really
okay,
interesting.
Vinny. You know this like the back of your hand. This is all new to me, and maybe many of our listeners and viewers. I have no idea. So there's a class on negotiation. Vinny teaches classes on negotiation.
Well, I don't know.
I was being sarcastic.
Yeah, no, I hear you. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much the core of my business now, is just negotiating with these groups on getting people's or companies' ransoms reduced.
How does a company protect themselves?
I mean, that's so hard because you figure too, you go into business and then anybody can just attack you, and then it's fair to give them a certain rate. I mean, like you said, how do you protect yourself? And some of the listeners and I have both been chatting back and forth that this is just the beginning, how much they've been attacking Vegas, both with cyber and the shooting attack, that we have to be prepared and figure out what's going on because all of us are next.
But Vinny's told me that this has been going on for many years. Is that right?
Oh yeah, many. I remember a few years back, you had the oil pipeline hack where they were ransoming the pipeline. I mean, this goes on every day. I mean, we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry, just mostly going to the Russians and whoever else that's kind of running these scams. But I mean, this is very, very big money, and it's big business, and it's not something that's going away anytime soon. And so when I say, it's a fair payment, it's fair in terms of, if the group had come in asking for $100 million, well, no one's going to pay for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The insurance carrier that's insuring MGM Grand for the ransom payment, because they absolutely do have ransom insurance, everybody does. They're not going to pay. There's a threshold that the insurance is going to pay. So that could be where they're getting stuck. For example, maybe the group wants 30 million and maybe the insurance carrier only wants to pay 15, whatever the number is. But if that's the case, what's $15 million to MGM at the end of the day in order to restore business, right? Just pay it and move on. But I actually don't think that's what the problem is. I think the problem is a lot of times also when you do get the decryption keys from the ransomware group, they don't always work because the software they use isn't really the best. And so now you've got these keys that you've paid for that you're struggling to get working, and you've got your systems trying to come online, and it's a giant mess.
Yeah, that's Vinny Troya with Nightline Security. We're also talking with Mary Jo Williams-Jaggi. You're a customer in Vegas right now. Remind everybody, for people who are coming into the show, where you're staying right now. And I'm curious, what does local news say out there, or what does any news say in Vegas?
Local news is really trying not to show it. They're trying to downplay it. We have seen a couple stations set up, and point it straight at MGM Grand, the big lion, figurine in front of the MGM Grand. But if you watch news out here, they're not saying much. You have to basically get online and get your information that way. And I went to MGM Properties website. It has not been updated for 4 days now. I noticed we did hear last night that the New York has the big roller coaster, and I think it started to come online last night. And because people who bring kids out here, there's a few MGM resorts that have game rooms and different activities for kids and adults to do. They've all been shut off, by MGM, they say. And I think we did notice that the roller coaster was starting to come back, maybe.
Well, Mary Jo, please keep us in touch of everything that's going on out there. If you get any more updates, because we can certainly let you go now. I know you're joining us early, Vegas time, and we appreciate you jumping in today to give us a little idea about what you and your family are dealing with, and hopefully they get back online soon for you.
Thanks, Mary Jo.
God bless you. God bless you all, and we are coming to Missouri today.
All right.
All right. There
Look
you
forward
go.
to it, Mary
Thanks,
Jo.
Mary Jo. Hey, Vinny, I wanted to get back in regards to educating people on this whole subject of what's going on outside of what you've already said when it comes to businesses, when it comes to personal security, when it comes to protecting yourself. What kind of advice do you have? Obviously, the advice that you give for companies, I'm assuming would be different, a different price tag than it would be for somebody like myself or Lizzie or Pro Joe.
Well, I mean, the price tag, sure, might be different, but the advice is the same. I mean, when you look at how MGM got hacked, they're saying that somebody, one of these hackers was literally just looking down LinkedIn profiles to get somebody's information.
I mean, that blows my mind right there.
Yeah, LinkedIn of all things.
Well, I mean, that's where you want to find out who works at MGM, you go to LinkedIn. I mean, it's where you go.
Yep, good point.
So they were able to call the help desk, and they were able to impersonate an employee. Now that's, obviously that's on the person who gave up the information, and why there weren't other safeguards in place to even, for example, if they were to get a password reset from the the help desk tech, why there shouldn't have been some other form of like two-factor authentication where the person would have needed his badge information or some sort of other, a mobile phone number code or, something like that to additionally verify who he was. Like, I don't know the details of that or why that wasn't in place. So that seems like a big point of failure. And so when it comes to talking to people about personal security versus corporate security, it always comes down to, not only do you have strong passwords, or not only are you making sure, you know who you're talking to on the other end of the line, because I get text messages all the time, hey, did you authorize a $10,000 charge on your Chase card? Please call this number immediately if you didn't. And most people don't think. They click the button to dial it, and they call, and all of a sudden you're calling somebody that sounds like Chase, but is actually, a Russian operator, right? So whenever I get messages, I never click the link to call or reply. I always actually have to look up the phone number for Chase, and then call them. And it's a very easy way to get kind of phished these days.
And it is easy because you helped one of my friends in the past too, who was, I guess, pretty much extorting information from her. And I don't remember all the specific details, but I was like, damn, this is crazy. And you at one point you were pushing, and I want you to explain this for people. I know you, and I know you're not some guy out there trying to capitalize on people's mistakes. Oh, let's just negotiate so I can get money. Can you explain that for viewers and listeners that we have, why you pay and you negotiate instead of holding your ground, the pros and cons of doing that, so people understand that there's zero conflict of interest with not needing security?
So the more I get paid based on how much money I'm able to save on the negotiations. So if the ransom group comes in at, let's say, 100 million, and I get the ransom down to, let's say, $1 million, then I get paid a percentage based on the difference of what I saved, not how much they're paying. There are some groups there's some companies that will charge based on how much the total ransom is, and I don't work like that. feel that that's fishy, honestly. But regardless, I don't always advise that a company pays, but a lot of times it comes down to a question of speed. It's like, okay, well, if we don't pay, how quickly can we restore everything from backup? And even if we do have everything backed up properly, which 99% of companies don't, there's always something that went wrong, a million to one shot, but it went wrong, right? You'd be surprised how many million to one shots I see. But assuming that isn't the case, then it becomes a question of, okay, well, we have everything we need. How quickly can we literally restore everything from the ground up? And usually we're talking weeks, and weeks of outage versus paying a couple $1 million, you got to weigh that out. It's sometimes, most of the time, much faster to just pay the ransom. And these guys know that. And so the crazy thing is they do their homework before they actually start ransoming you. They know exactly who they're talking to. I had one case, it blew my mind. They ransomed a dentist office, right?
Oh, wow.
And I was working with the dentist, and then, he had a number that the insurance was willing to pay. And the guy came to me, who I was negotiating with, and he's like, I know you have more money than this. I was in the dentist bank account. I can see that he has X amount of money in the bank account, so I know he can afford to pay me. And I was like, oh, wow. So I went back to the dentist. I'm like, is this accurate? Is this guy actually in your bank account? And he's like, yeah, yep, it's true. So I'm like, now you're kind of, so my point is they do a lot of their due diligence. They know what they're asking for. And oftentimes they will go out and they know the limits of the insurance carriers and what they're willing to pay based on what the revenue is. So they know, they have a number they're coming in with. And so it's usually got to kind of find that common ground.
That really is crazy when you think about it, that someone who wants to come after you for whatever reason, maybe it's just simply money, maybe it's they have a vendetta or they're vindictive, and they can get in your bank account. I know I owned a business for many years and somebody tried to hack it as well. Now, it wasn't on the level that you're talking about, but that is really scary to think at any point. And I was old school doing that. I was one of those chicks that literally kept cash underneath my mattress and did everything in writing along with the computer. And people thought I was this crazy lady for doing that. But I really had a feeling that somebody was going to come and take all the money out of my account. And you're just solidifying the fact that if someone is a hacker and they're very smart in that, really how easy that is to do it. It's frightening.
I mean, again, I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to say it's easy. I think, with this particular dentist, he left things in place so that I don't remember how they got the password to his bank account. I feel like once he was in the dentist office, maybe like the admin had the account information on like a sticky note on the desktop or something, something like that. I mean, that happens all the time. So, there are things you can do. Don't leave your passwords on sticky notes. Don't leave your passwords in the Notes app on your phone. Don't, always have some sort of two-factor authentication set up so that if they do get your passwords, that you still need the verification code sent to your phone before anybody can log in. I mean, that'll stop 100% of attacks if people just start doing that.
This is Vinny Troya with Nightline Security. Did you have another quick question?
No, that just makes sense. That was really good advice. How many times do we think we can trust someone? And so we do just leave a passcode sitting on a sticky note or out and about or on our phone. And if somebody has your passcodes, game's on. So you got to be really careful with your passcodes.
Hey, Vinny, how many more minutes do we have with you before you have to go be dad?
I mean, I've got a few. I'm okay.
Could you explain what's happening and how this has any effect with what's going on with the dark web? I know people hear about the dark web, and is that still a factor in things that are going on and how you can be hacked? Because I'll never forget working with you. You sat right with me. It's like, oh yeah, let's go to the dark web and see what's up on Vic Faust. And you knew everything about me.
That's funny. Yeah. I mean, so I guess you could say that's, I guess you could say that's where a lot of these, groups operate on the dark web. But the dark web is just kind of like this like fantasy place of, I mean, there are certain websites you can go to, yes, but it's mostly different corners of the internet that you can get to. But a lot of these groups operate on, what's called the dark web. And so they try to stay anonymous, and they're certainly harder to track. And I was reading through some of these comments and, can't they track the money payment? Well, not really. Yes, there are ways to track Bitcoin, but once those Bitcoins starts getting pushed through these like Russian tumblers and Russian washing systems, I mean, good luck, right? Because then they split the transactions into millions of pieces, and you're never going to find it. There's also ways to anonymize. I'm not going to get into money laundering here, but there are ways to keep it private, right? And especially if these guys are overseas and happen to be in countries like Russia, it's going to be tough.
Damn. It's talking with Vinny Troya from Night Lion Security. That's nightlion.com. Nightlion, Lion, nightlion.com. If people have information, if you have questions, go ahead and email Vinny. Go to his website. They'll help you with any kind of situation you have. And do you recommend, are you guys able to recommend to people procedures on how to protect themselves, either personal or professional?
Yeah, honestly, two-factor authentication is going to be the biggest thing.
Okay.
Know who you're talking to, right? Don't arbitrarily or just don't necessarily click on, again, you get a text message that says, your bank wants to talk to you. Don't click on the link to call them. Find out what the number is on the back of the card and call them. That's such an easy one that people fall for all the time now.
And that seems like that's happening more often all the time, where your bank wants to talk to you, or you get these really weird little messages. And how many times do people, actually press that?
And by the way, nobody's ever going to be giving you money. All right. Nobody's just texting you to give
Correct.
you money.
Here's some money, Vic.
I've got a good one for you. I've been getting this one a lot. Hey, we're FedEx. And I've gotten people call me from FedEx saying, hey, we're FedEx. We've got your package. We need this information so we can redirect it properly to your house. Well, okay, first of all, FedEx doesn't care enough to call me if they have my package or not. And it happened to my wife too. She's like, well, how did these guys know that we have a FedEx package coming? Because everybody has a FedEx package.
Everybody has packages coming.
And if you don't call them back. But I mean, they actually got me on the phone, and I started talking to him, and when he started asking me for my information, I'm like, wait, what? Like, it actually, the fact that he started asking me for information, it stopped me cold. I'm like, wait, who are you? Why do you want this information? You're FedEx. You don't need my information. You know where you're going. You don't need me to tell you where I live. You have my address. So, some of these, they get really good, and the people you talk to are more and more English sounding. So it's not like you're going to expect to get someone in Nepal with a very thick accent, right? You're gonna actually get, probably some, 18-year-old or 16-year-old kid out in, I don't know, Spokane, Washington, who's actually doing the call center for them.
Because this hacking can happen anywhere. It's not just out of country; it can also be happening inside the country, right?
I mean, they hire people in the country to do their call centers. Why not?
Hey, we just had a great question. How does AI play into all of this, Vinny?
I think we're not really seeing that just yet. I think the generative AI and being able to spoof people's voices, it's going to be interesting. We never really got into like voice authentication, so that's not a thing, and I don't see that being a thing anymore. I think it's going to be really interesting from a ransom perspective if you call somebody's grandmother and you're able to impersonate their granddaughter's voice and say, hey, I'm in prison. I need you to send me money immediately. And she's talking to her granddaughter. That's going to be tough. If I call my boss and my boss knows my voice, and I'm impersonating, the employee, and I'm trying to get him to get codes, the boss needs to be, smart enough to know that the employee would never do that or should never break protocol like that. I mean, there's a lot of things we're going to be seeing from that perspective, but it's way too early to tell.
Okay, I've got to ask one more question.
Me too.
Lizzie, real quick. Is there any truth to the new iPhones being easily hackable?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Have you seen any of those reports?
No. There was something that came out a week or two ago that there was this 0-day hack in the wild that people could send an image and somehow get into your phone. That was true. But here's the thing with these sort of exploits. They're not cheap, right? And nobody's using them on you particularly. I mean, somebody with that knowledge and that level of sophistication to have access to that 0-day vulnerability isn't just going into random people's phones. He's selling it to the highest bidder, number one, or Apple pays millions of dollars to people who find these bug bounties. That's why a lot of them don't get released. People figure out how to hack the phones and they go right to Apple, and Apple pays them off well so they don't hit the public. I mean, it's a really smart strategy. Yeah. I mean, so why am I going to burn, potentially $2 million just so I can read your text messages? No, thanks.
Yeah, no kidding. Lizzie, did you have something?
I do. I have a question. So when someone is somewhere else and you want to get on their Wi-Fi and it's on, for example, if I go to one of my kids' games and I don't have Wi-Fi and I can get on the school district's Wi-Fi or the elementary school's Wi-Fi, and then it comes up and it says unsecured, should I not be on that?
I don't know why I would say unsecured, because usually they're using some sort of encryption. That's a good question. Usually unsecured just means that there's not using any sort of encryption. Was there no password to get on the Wi-Fi?
It's like a guest. Like if you go to Rockwood School District or whatever, and you get on their guest, because otherwise you wouldn't have any Wi-Fi in the gym. When you get on that, what risk do you put yourself into?
So in that situation, it's more about having somebody who could potentially be sitting at the hub, just kind of reading all the traffic going through. But if you're at the Rockwood School District, I don't think that's anyone's, you have to question whether or not the guest network is real. But I've been to the same, when you go there, it is real. It's just for whatever reason, they haven't set up a password because they probably just don't want to give it out to people. So, I mean, the likelihood that somebody's sitting on the other end of that reading everybody's traffic is very low.
Okay, because a lot of people keep saying stop using public Wi-Fi, and I do use public Wi-Fi when I was out, and I didn't know what risk I was putting my family in by doing
that. Public Wi-Fi is a little different. I mean, you never know who's sitting at an airport with a hotspot saying free public Wi-Fi, and somebody's connecting to it. Rockwood School District, I would probably connect to it also.
Okay, good.
Have you been conditioned to just not trust people in life now, Vinny?
Oh, I don't trust anybody.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that sad?
Everybody's always got an angle.
Damn, I know, man. I'm like, crap.
Oh, it's sad, isn't it?
I don't want to deal with any of that shit. That's just what you can trust people, but damn, you deal with this stuff every day, man.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody's out. Got to run their angle.
And you don't have an angle though.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, everybody's got an angle.
All right. Hey, buddy. Real quick before you go, remind people what they can do, what your business offers, what kind of services they can offer.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, so primarily our core service right now is ransom negotiations for organizations. So if you're a company and you get hit with a ransom and you don't want to make the payment, or maybe you don't have the cyber insurance to make the payment and you got to negotiate it down, people will call me, and that's really been the core of what I do now. It keeps me busy.
Hey, Vinny, thank you again. Nightlion.com, NightLion.com. I appreciate your time, buddy. We'll get you back on again, hopefully sometime in the future. You got it, buddy. Great information as well.
All right. Thanks, man. Thanks,
you
guys.
have been great.
All right. Vinny Troia with Nightlion.com.
I loved having him on because he was telling us things that I know I have done wrong in the past and probably set myself up for failure in a monetary way. But that is really interesting. He'd be the person I'd call for sure.
He is an awesome guest. Great information. It's one of those things. And it's been a couple of years since, and by the way, I know Vinny. I mean, I trust him. So, hey, if I'm stupid for trusting Vinny, because he has all my information, somebody be kind. I mean, he literally called me up on the dark web a few years ago, and he's like, "Oh yeah, there's your Social Security. There's your He's like,
and he didn't do anything bad to you.
Well, no,
but I mean, people like that could.
Not that I know of, Vinny. If you're still listening,
Vinny. No, I mean, no, I would. He would be who I would call if I had a hacker coming after me.
Aaron says, "Yeah, everybody's trying to screw somebody over in life. Get rich quick in this modern society." I'm with Vinny. Don't trust anybody, especially when it comes to anything digital, as we're pushed more and more to digital in all areas, as we've talked about, especially when it comes to money. Everything that we do, or it seems as if, is on digital, or there is a push for digital. And then we see what happened with Vegas. And I know it may surprise some people happen in Vegas, but Vinny's like, man, this stuff's been going on for years. And everybody's trying to do something. It's because he's told me it's a lot of these younger kids.
Yeah, they're smart.
And it's not anything political, and it's not even out of the country. A lot of times it's just like, hey, we're going to do this for jokes. We're going to get together after school today
I
because
believe that.
we have knowledge, or we're going to make some money here, and we're going to get these companies to negotiate. It's a whole day. And this is another reason why the field of cybersecurity is so important. I did a story a couple of years ago. We were talking about the average jobs coming in, and somebody may know this. I mean, you're talking about good 6-figure jobs straight out of your cybersecurity training. And there's not enough people in America to do it.
There isn't enough people. And if somebody wants a good job, you probably need to get into that these days.
Well, it's a field that is wide open. I've talked to several people. I do know it. The jobs are all over the place, and I'm not kidding. We talk about that 6-figure money all over the place.
And Terry's saying if they can get into Vegas, why not our infrastructure? And that's what we have to be aware of, is that they will come into our infrastructure if they're not already there. And yes, it could be the Russians, it could be China, but it's also our government allowing it.
But what I got from Vinny talking about, we're allowing it, but the government can't be in control of your own personal information. You have to do the 2-step authentication.
Yes,
you
do
have to
do
take
the
the
2-step.
steps to protect your businesses, just as you would protect yourself if you're going out and about somewhere as well.
Yes, you have to protect yourself. But the sad point of it is that, yes, you have to protect yourself from whoever these hackers are. And they could be just kids. But we also know that our government will do that to us. They will. So you have to. And I always get annoyed because I do have the 2-step authenticator on my phone. And I'm going to stop being annoyed at it because I have to do it about once a month on all of the platforms, even for the show, have to do it on all the platforms at home. And I'm like, now I'm going to be like, thank God that's on there. I'm going to look at it from a different point of view now after talking to Vinny.
Yeah, Vinny Troy at nightlion.com. And I knew that when he said you have to negotiate, people were like, what? We're going to stand up. We're going to go after them.
It's hard to do that. Sometimes you do have to give a little just to get your business back. And I think it's crap. And I kind of said something to Vinny about, oh, wow, that sounds like that's just not that much money to give them. But what do you do? Like if you've got this multi-billion-dollar company and $1 million or $2 million will get you back up, aren't you going to give it? Probably. But that is just BS.
Maybe.
No, it is BS. Okay, Vic, somebody comes and hacks into the accounts here, and in order to get them back up, you have to do something, or at your home or in your business. I mean, these people are evil, and they know what they're holding ransom. I mean, they know. It's horrible. They have dark souls.
This is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe in the house as well. Coming up at 9:30, we've got country music up-and-comer, country music star up-and-comer, Tori Allen. She'll be joining us in studio. Just got off the tour with the Killers. We're going to be talking with her. Also, let's bring him on in. Yeah, if he's there, let's bring him in. I was talking to Pro Joe. We go with the flow on this show. It's very organic.
With the flow.
There's still no video on, and I'm not sure if he has audio.
Oh, okay. We got it.
We can wait for a second.
Yeah, no problem. Make country music not woke again is what Aaron said. So that's coming up at 9:30. We just wanted to make sure that we had a chance to focus on what was happening with Vegas and those situations that are going on right now. And we'll go, so if he wants to jump in, he can certainly jump in. I did want to move to the subject that we have going on right now. More and more boys are becoming homecoming queens. And to me, I know I'm not upset about it. I was going to piss you off by saying this.
So upset about it.
Well, here's a picture.
Because you're not a female.
I know. And you know what? And this is why I just need to shut up and let you talk.
Yeah, please shut up, Vic. And I don't normally tell you to shut up, but you're wrong.
Here's a picture. I sent that to you, Joe, a while back. And this picture of the prom, there they are. Okay. I guess the prom king is in the middle. This is in North Kansas City. And he and I'm trying to be as respectful as I can.
I'm not going to be respectful.
But he, she, whatever this person wants to be called, was just voted the homecoming king in Kansas City.
Yeah,
this is not the first time.
No, it isn't.
This has happened in the St. Louis area a few years ago.
Yep.
It happens all over America. It's going on. Does it make it right for many people? No.
No.
But my point in this whole matter is the fact that what's happening a lot of the time. Oh, I didn't tell you about the surprise with Eric coming in.
Oh, my buddy Eric is here.
Yeah, Eric
That
Johnson
is a surprise.
came
It
in as well.
makes my freaking whole day.
Is the fact, and that just kind of came about, buddy. So don't
I'm
worry.
excited.
Joe looked at me like, Vic.
We always like to keep Pro Joe on his toes.
I didn't know, buddy.
But
I
we're
did not
glad.
know.
I am thrilled he's
So
here.
he is a biological male, Eric, and this prom king.
Eric is a male, and
I
he's
said
not
prom
dressed up as a
king.
female as he comes
I
in
meant
here.
prom queen. So this is in North Kansas City. This, it fired you up big time.
It did. And here's why, is because women back in the 60s, no matter whether they were hippies or whatever, fought for the right of women. And I have 4 daughters and 1 son, and I don't want my son dressing up like a girl and taking away a spot for a real girl. I think it's wrong. And I know that some people don't.
Yeah, but the
care.
teachers didn't vote for this. The student body did.
But that will show you the brainwashing of our young kids today. It's not right. And even those girls standing up there, maybe they think they're being virtuous by letting this poor, mentally ill young man.
No, the one in the pink is like pissed. I can tell. She's smiling, but like
she's pissed. Yeah, the one in like
she's
the pinkish.
Yeah, this is bullshit.
This is bullshit. And you know what? The parents, this guy's parents, did you see them? It was like he looked like he's a football player type too. And maybe he was like, oh, you know what? My kid sucked at football, so then he can just be the football homecoming.
Pro Joe, when you get a chance, can we pop that picture back up too as Eric jumps in? And there's at least 3 or 4 of this happening around 3 or 4 of these situations because it's homecoming now.
I dated uglier chicks than that, by the way.
What a great opening line.
That is great. That is great.
Eric Johnson in the house.
Yeah.
Okay, so Derek, not Derek. Okay, so Eric, if we were back in the days, in our Francis Howell days, okay, and how do you think we would have reacted to that dude in the purple now being the queen? What would we have done to that dude back then?
Well, we would take him to the chewing lounge where we used to take all the tobacco.
Correct.
And made him slurp it up with his
lounge.
Yeah, we had a chewing lounge.
It's true.
Oh my God.
That's true.
I mean, I'm since that last time you saw me, I'm having a different outlook on this.
Okay, let's hear about it.
The kids don't care.
No, they don't.
That's my
the kids
point. That's
don't
the whole
care.
reason I brought this up.
They don't care.
It's like, do you feel weird that you have to relinquish the world over to the young people now?
Yeah, I'm kind of scared if they think it's okay.
Don't you feel weird in your stomach that it's like what we might have done back in our day is now what is completely unacceptable about what's going on now. Now it's kind of like they like this stuff.
They do.
They're searching out the dude that used to be a girl that used to be a dude for the homecoming queen and put her picture in the yearbook. Back when we were looking for the best looking blonde that looked like they should be in some kind of, Pretty in Pink movie or something like that.
Yeah, and she
But
could
that's
even be
not
a little mean, but not too mean. So I get what you're saying.
And it's like every generation has the opportunity to invent the world how they see fit. The Elvis generation invented Elvis. The Beatle generation invented the Beatles. We invented Van Halen, and our generation was kind of weird ourselves. If you look back at the 80s,
we were
crazy, man.
We were crazy, climbing up, towers and all kinds of crazy stuff.
But this generation. And however it got here, I think it was propaganda. I think it was media that got it here. But Francis Howell, if you want to have a dude, chick, homecoming queen, knock yourself out. Have fun with that.
It happened out in Wentzville a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the norm now. And you're right. I'm all up in arms about it. Vic doesn't care one way or the other.
I think he does. I think Vic does because he's got daughter. He has a daughter and he has kids. And he's probably going, man, what the hell is this garbage?
No, but here's my take on the whole situation. It isn't just that it's happening. It's that the kids are the ones who are doing this. The kids, if the kids didn't vote these boys, girls prize winners, we wouldn't care. We wouldn't even know about it.
Yeah.
But it's the kids, because of what you just said, Eric, because of what you have
He's
said,
so right,
that they get taught. They get pushed. It's
Mhm.
like, oh, well, it's our heartstrings.
Yeah.
Let's do something nice. You know what? Maybe this is just what we're supposed to do.
It's just
We're being
cultural.
kind. We're not
is cultural.
thinking that it's going to be a bad
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying the kids should be mean to somebody that's transitioning into the opposite sex. I don't want my kids to be mean to anyone, but I do want
Well, of
them to
course
know
not.
that shouldn't be the norm. That
Yeah.
shouldn't be. And like I said, as a mama of girls had to fight so hard to get where they are. And now we have completely equal
Mhm.
rights. I don't want my girls to, go out and be vigilantes anymore because we have the exact same rights. But then now you've got these guys dressing as girls, taking away women's rights again.
Yeah.
And so who's doing that? Like you said, it's the media and it's our kids today are brainwashed into think it's okay. Just it's okay.
Yeah, it's not even brainwashed. I can't remember what politician said that this is a trend. This will pass kind of a deal. Everything passes. I can't believe Bon Jovi's still not popular, to be honest with you. I'm stunned. Bon Jovi's not popular anymore? Okay. So this stuff will have its legs. Freud and Carl Jung were right. The libido is stronger than anything else. And
Right.
and eventually you want to just kind of, procreate the earth. And that's what a male and a female does.
Right.
Boom.
Right.
This is more fashion. I'm telling you, back in the 80s, there were the most heterosexual chicks. And I don't even know why I'm telling you guys this, but you would go out to any meat market and there would be two hot chicks in the corner making out. Neither one of them were lesbians. They just wanted the attention from all the dudes.
No,
do
you're
you
not wrong.
remember that, Vic?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Vic remembered that. He went to Mizzou. He was a tight end at Mizzou.
No, you're right. That did happen.
He went to So but that hasn't passed, I don't think. It's just been amped up.
Right.
Oh, well, let me ask you guys this. So, do you think there's a difference with students voting for a male to be the female prom queen, as opposed to standing up for boys being allowed to go into girls' bathrooms?
I think it's a problem.
Because a Pennsylvania high school now, and I don't remember, I mean, I've heard stories, but students now all getting together and literally protesting a situation now where kids at a Pennsylvania high school, they organized a walkout to protest any boys saying they're girls to be able to go into bathrooms.
Okay, that's wrong.
The
that's
bathroom.
different.
Yeah.
That's different.
But it's happening at schools all over the place.
Yeah, that's different. So you're conflating two things.
This was at Perkman Valley School. They walked out of class on Friday, hundreds of kids saying they were upset that boys were allowed. But what I'm saying is sometimes you have to have something where it starts. And then a story is done just like it would be the opposite way.
Yeah.
Where kids go, oh, we can do something. We do have a voice.
Yeah.
We can go let our intentions and our feelings known.
Kids have a voice for sure, but it should only go to a certain point. There needs to be hardwired barriers
on any issue.
On any issue. I mean, for God's sakes, the logic in this country right now is in 20 years, a man is going to be able to have a fleet of goats as his wives.
Oh my God.
Okay.
The way we're on,
yes,
probably.
for sure. The way that the trajectory that we're on right now, if marijuana is being sold at some dispensary, you will be able to get heroin somewhere because some group is going to start the free heroin campaign or something like that. So you have to have these hardwired barriers in place in society. A man going into a woman's restroom, no go.
Yeah, that
I don't give
never.
And that's coming from someone who's a little bit more independent in thought than most conservatives.
Right.
But as far as having a potential 12-year-old little girl being, face level with a man in a bathroom when they're going, nope.
Yeah, that's
I cannot. I still right now I cannot wrap my mind around how leaders can basically say this is cool. I cannot, because it's not the same thing. It's just it's no. It's a no. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
sometimes you don't even have to debate it.
Right. And that's the same thing where I am not a fan of drag queens. But if you want to be a drag queen, it's still in that same agenda. Go knock yourself out. I still don't get where the drag queen can sit there and want to talk to children. Why are they not going to the old folks' home? I mean, it is literally going after the kids to change them. Now, to your point, Eric, I do agree that there's always a fad. The problem with this fad is sometimes it's hair and they're emo and they're goth and they get a tattoo or they put a nose ring in or whatever. All those things.
This isn't going anywhere, people.
This is if you whack off your penis and now you have a vagina.
I swear to God, I hope you recorded that. I need to know that that's on tape somewhere. I have to, and I need that for my ringtone.
I'm time stamping that one.
Okay.
But I mean, think about it.
I whack off my penis sometimes.
This is going to be whenever Lizzie calls me, it's going to ring.
The ringtone. Then you whacked off your penis, but you can't, and you get a vagina.
If you whack off your penis.
Keep going, Lizzie.
All right. Anyway,
some good shit here.
This woman in her mouth.
What did you do? And then you take that skin, you make it a vagina.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's not really how it works, but I see what you're saying.
Oh,
what are you doing
Mary's
today?
right.
I'm whacking
That's
off my penis.
Gosh, I didn't really mean it like that exactly.
Hey, Vic, what was on the show? Well, Lizzie was talking about whacking off penises.
Okay. That is
Joe, you ever whack off your penis?
Man.
You don't have to answer that, Joe.
Still got it.
You still got it.
I don't think that's what she meant.
That's not what.
Yeah, I really didn't mean that. But after it came out of my mouth, I'm like, oh.
It came out of her mouth.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Good God. It's a spiral.
Come on, man. Get back to Francis Hill High School football.
Oh, my God.
Let's go here.
I got tears in my eyes.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Okay. Sometimes you just need that.
So-
That's where we're at in society. You know what I'm saying?
Balls.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
But I get you. I get you. I'm feeling it. You know.
Oh. Yeah.
It's the Gen Z's world. We're just living in it.
That is
That's
the
all
truth.
there is.
Oh my
That is
gosh.
the truth. So I guess we better be nice to the Gen Z if they're going to put. I mean, think about
Dave Sparks.
that. He can't.
APB out on Dave Sparks.
Yeah.
Why is she talking about whacking off penises?
Because you know, it's a thing.
It's a thing. I almost repeated it.
You know, I don't know. The Gen Z, I think millennials are pissed at Gen Z for some reason.
I think so.
I just
They're
feel
pissed
like
at everybody.
I think millennials they kind of agree a little bit more with the Gen Xers, and I think that they look at Gen Z like, how dare you take over and think that you know everything, and how I really believe, because I know I hang out with millennials, and I just don't feel like they look at the Gen Z in a positive
You date
light.
one.
I do. I forgot.
And she's really cool, by the way.
With a goat.
With a goat. I mean, you know what? If
She's
anybody
cool,
needs
pretty,
to know
smart, and she has a goat.
Yeah, if anybody needs to know about Eric at all, he dates a millennial that he gave a goat to. His life is damn good. She's a Dow.
Yeah. It's like
You have a good life, Eric.
it's like, what do you want for your birthday? A trip to the Bahamas, a ring?
What do you want?
Do you want some kind of nice little cashmere sweater? No, I'll take a goat.
A good goat. And does the goat sleep in your bed?
No.
Okay,
And
I just wondered.
And some sod.
And some sod.
Some sod.
Yes, and a
Gotta have
chicken.
sod.
The chicken on the side.
I love it. I love it.
Oh my God, this is cancelthisshow.com. Lizzie, you say sexual things, whether intended or unintended,
Well, you can't help it.
more often than Joe Biden lies.
And it makes it so hilarious.
Well, you know what? I'm not sure if that is a good statement because Joe Biden lies a lot.
Joe, do we have that as a sound drop?
We will by
Very good.
tomorrow. This
I love
will be
it.
a sound drop for sure.
Oh my God. If they did a reel, if Alex did a reel of just that stuff, I would just keep it on loop.
Yeah, well.
If they're whacking off penises, balls. Whacking off penises, balls.
Whacking. We could do it.
Oh.
Donna says it's those hormone treatments you've been taking over at New Age Health and Wellness. You're a sex-crazed conservative mom.
I would like to.
You and
blame it
Lauren
on that.
Beaubear are hanging out this weekend.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Get Lauren's phone number, please, Projo. Lauren Beaubear, Lizzie will go out with you this weekend.
Oh, my gosh. I don't think she could handle me.
Probably not.
I don't.
Probably not.
But I don't vape, so I wouldn't blow the vape in somebody's face.
No.
I wouldn't do that.
No.
I would not do that.
No.
No. I might laugh real loud and sing
Yeah.
in the show,
Yeah.
but I don't think I would vape. And I wouldn't let some
Eric, you
guy I
got my
met
mind
last
on a
week.
bad track now. Every
That's
time
all
she
right.
says something, the last two things
Oh.
she said things without realizing that she said them.
That's the best ones. That's
Yeah.
the best ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
My aunt used to do that too.
yeah.
Say the weird things, and everybody would be laughing around.
I wouldn't
Like, what are
blow
you
a
talking
vape either, Lizzie. I'm with you.
about? Mhm.
Well, I'm not making fun of people who do. It just isn't my thing. I mean, I've got some things, but that's not one of them.
You know what? Here's the deal. Didn't the government a few not to change the subject too much, but didn't the government a
You
few
probably
years
need
ago
to.
say vaping was way safer than cigarettes?
Yeah. And now they're saying it's not.
It just collapsed a kid's lung.
Oh, yeah.
Vaping just collapsed a kid's
Vaping
lung.
is bad. It is
Yeah.
bad. It's
Don't
it-
ever trust what the
it
government
gives you
says about
popcorn.
health.
It gives you popcorn
Right?
lung. I did stories
Oh.
on this. It's simple. Yeah, Joe, look at my face. I was cracking up, especially with Lizzie over here. Sorry. It is funny.
Yeah.
Some of those things that we're doing. It is cancel this. CancelTheShow.com. Special thanks to Complete Auto Body Repair. Curtis Sparks and crew, give them a call or check out their email, CompleteAB.com. CompleteAB.com. If you need anything with your car, just a question, you can stop in, ask them. They're not going to put the hard sale on you. Hell, they even told Lizzie and some other people, we're not ready. We're not ready to work on your car.
Mhm.
We're not going to take your money. Trust me, when it comes to Complete Auto Body Repair, several of our viewers and listeners have gone to Complete A to Z, everything with your car. And they're also looking for employees all the time. Of course, we had Sandy Travis on last week, the best human resources director manager in America. They have 62 jobs open, 62 jobs as technicians and sales. So what anybody wants to do, go ahead and check them out. Complete Auto Body Care. Strategic Air Services.net, Strategic Air Services. When it comes to private flying, when it comes to luxury flying, there's no better place than Strategic. As we have talked about before, had people on the show, how great it is to jump in with Kevin and crew. Give them a call. Check them out online. See where you're going. You might surprise yourself on where you could go for the price that it's going to cost, how many people you have, everything that goes into it. Once again, it is Strategic Air Services located in the Chesterfield Valley. It's where we do this fun show where Lizzie talks all of her sexual innuendos.
I just don't mean to. It just comes out wrong.
Fans only Friday.
All the time. Experience Realty Partners, Kathy Helbig Strick, New American Funding with Steve Strick, and of course their third company, New Age Health Wellness. Check them out when it comes to realty. If you have a question, just like with Complete, give them a call. You can talk to them. You can find out what works for you. There's no hardcore pressure, no sale. If you want to be advised, especially in this market, it is the best realty company you can go to. Kathy has more experience than anybody around. She has a massive team of people who are there to try to help you out. And of course, when it comes to cannabis dispensaries, there's one in the state of Missouri. It's Greenlight Dispensary. Tom Bomarito comes on with us. He talks to us. We talk to our Weed Wednesday bud tenders. And of course, you can always go to canceltheshow.com. You can download the Greenlight coupon. It is on the website, canceltheshow.com. Take it in with you. Get a discount. By being the biggest in the state, they offer you the best prices on all the products they have. And when it comes to product, there is nobody who has a larger supply than Greenlight does. And of course, Vehicle Protection Group. Email Todd at vpcnetwork.com. You're literally taking inbound calls. Inbound calls, the best people making 6 figures a year. They train you in about 2 weeks. Once again, email Todd at vpcnetwork.com. Talk to them and ask them and let them know that you heard about them on cancelthisshow.com. Aaron, not a butt tender, a bud.
A butt tender.
A bud tender.
What? Never mind.
Leave it to Aaron to start some crap going up.
Yeah, but
Thank
it's
you.
pretty funny. You have to admit.
I know. This is cancel this,
Great.
cancelthisshow.com. Hey, Eric Johnson's in studio with us today. We asked him to come in because we're going to be talking with Tori Allen coming up in about, 15, 20 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm.
She's an up and comer. You've heard her perform, right? In St. Charles?
Yeah.
She's performed all around America. She was on tour with the Killers most recently as well, a band that I like. Do you know anybody from the Killers?
No, I don't know. No.
Projo's in the house taking care of everything, of course. The engine of this vehicle that moves forward, however fast it's moving forward.
Was the Killers the one that got the birds pooped on at Riverport?
No, that was Kings of Leon.
Oh, Kings of Leon. Never mind. Different band.
Yeah. I like Kings of Leon too, though.
It killed their career, didn't it?
Yeah.
And when they're not from Kansas City, are they?
I don't think so. They were just in St. Louis, and a pigeon pooped on the lead singer.
Oh my God.
Oh, it happens.
And then
Yeah.
the record
Shit happens.
Yeah.
literally.
Literally shit happens.
It happens all over the place.
Yeah.
Hey, Projo, I know we'll talk about it later too, but if you could remind everybody about Audio Inc. as well and what's going on, because Tori is going to be joining you on Audio
Yes.
Inc., where you can
October
really. When will she be on? And we'll bring it up again.
October 1st, and we're going to do our best to do some live performance.
Love it.
Do you want to promote any shows that's coming up this week or next week, and when you're dropping stuff?
This Wednesday at 6 p.m., the new episode that we just recorded Sunday, it'll be out. And this coming Sunday, we have Steve Ewing on.
Oh, okay. Why do I know Steve Ewing?
The Urge.
That's right. Holy crap.
Cool.
And
What a
Steve Dawes.
guest.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how can people find
Don't
you?
worry about me. I guess I don't need to be on the show.
AudioIncSTL.com.
AudioIncSTL.com. That is Joe's other baby.
No, don't worry
I
about
love
me.
it.
I'll make it somehow.
You know what we should do? We
I'm
should,
fine. No, don't ask me now.
Don't ask you.
I'm
Okay.
too hurt.
Start crying. Let's give you some tissues. You know what? We could make it up by start singing Shooting Star songs. Come on. Dick,
Yeah,
start
no,
singing.
it's too late now.
It's too late. We could wear, you know what? You know that diaper guy that was yesterday?
Yeah.
You could look like Platinum Mark Legends in a diaper.
Diaper guy.
Yeah, we talked about the diaper guy
that is-
yesterday.
no,
Put
that-
whipped cream in.
Lizzie.
Okay, I'll stop. I'll stop.
Yes, whatever you're talking about. I
I-
want some of that in my life.
Yes, it's Starbucks.
Diaper guy with whipped cream. I'm in.
In his, he just took his diaper and he squished it in his diaper at a Starbucks.
Man.
He did. So go to Starbucks and say, without cream, please. There you go.
I need another one.
You need
Lizzie,
another one.
no, it was a drop from yesterday. If Joe wasn't so busy and I wasn't so busy, we'd go back.
No, I'm.
No, she was talking about cream in the pants yesterday, and I was like, Lizzie, stop. I almost walked off.
He did. He was like, that is enough. But I was just stating a fact
It was a barista putting cream in their pants.
Yeah.
on video.
Big
and then,
news.
yeah.
Big news.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know that it was big news. It just needed to be brought up for
Yeah.
even
Well-
like Starbucks to be careful when you ask for cream on
There
your
were
coffee.
there were local radio stations covering that as
See?
I was on my way in.
There
So,
you
I
go.
mean, it really was big news.
It absolutely was, and it happened in Baldwin.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nice.
there you
Yeah,
go.
Jeannie says, quit making that fool famous. No, I get
I
it.
know. I need to stop.
No, you have
Thank
to.
you for the
You
reminder.
have to.
This is cancelthisshow.com. I have to, before we get it back to the music, I have to show you all these lies. If we could we pop up all the lies that Joe Biden has said recently? We almost made it through a day without Joe Biden news, but we have to do this because now Gavin Newsom just did another interview. Gavin, as Eric said before, is going to be running for president.
Oh yeah.
He was there, checking out the size for new drapes.
Yeah.
He does an interview yesterday saying that Kamala Harris, not Joe Biden as president, but Kamala Harris needs to continue to be the vice president because she's so good at her job.
He's got jokes.
So what does that mean? That he steps into the president's
Dun,
role
dun,
and,
dun.
and she
That's-
stays the VP?
I'm telling you, she's got something on somebody.
Yes, she does.
No, she doesn't.
Literally.
No, she doesn't.
You don't think she does?
Nah, but the country has something about taking the first female black vice president
Mhm.
and then alienating 30 million minorities
Mhm.
and then saying, "Oh, this election is lost."
Or woman of color.
Yeah,
You call her a
woman of
woman
color.
of color.
Yeah,
Correct.
but whatever fits their narrative. It's the first Indian.
Mhm.
It's the first Native American. I mean, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's just like the media is fantastic at being in your court.
Yeah, but they don't
Yeah.
talk about these things that we show you right now. All right. He lied about teaching at the University of Pennsylvania and the class that he had.
Hmm.
This is my favorite, that he was raised in the synagogue.
What?
Oh my gosh. Since when?
Because the national freaking media won't tell you.
Oh,
And newspapers won't write it. It's shows like ours that bring this stuff to light.
I remember when I went to my first bar mitzvah for myself.
for yourself.
I'm having my own. I'm having
Rub it
another.
in my hairy legs.
Gosh.
Okay, come on, Joe. Go ahead.
Okay, Joe.
He said he visited Ground Zero. Which
He was there
a
with
lie.
George Bush that day. I remember that.
Oh yeah, of course.
It was awesome.
The next day, I looked and I saw the smoldering smoke coming up. he gave a speech that day in D.C. He wasn't at Ground Zero. He said he lost his home, trying to compare it to the Maui fires.
He lost his kitchen and got a brand new, beautiful kitchen from the insurance.
Exactly. He said he watched a Pittsburgh bridge collapse. That didn't happen.
That was unusual timing to be right by that bridge when it collapsed.
He's continuing to talk about this Amtrak story that's been debunked, where he understood about Amtrak and I used to write it. And then, of course, if you didn't see this, he's also lied recently about the timing of his grandfather's death.
That's all you have? I think you're missing about 10 right now.
At least.
That's your appetizer.
Yeah.
So anyway, you get into that kind of thing going on. The media doesn't cover it. Of course, we try to cover what we can. Okay. This is interesting because we've got Tori Allen coming in, and she doesn't know anything about politics. She's not enthused about talking about anything politics, which is why we stay away from that. But we were just talking about these kinds of things that happen. Now you have singer Maren Morris claiming that the Trump years were so bad. They exposed bigoted views of people in the country music industry. So that's why she gave up country music.
Explain that one.
She said she gave up country because of Donald Trump, because people felt comfortable to be racist with Trump in office.
Except you have one of the biggest at the time country stars. All of those country stars were completely liberal. I don't remember seeing any. As a matter of fact, I was the other way. I was like, how can country singers be this blue?
Well, she's pissed off because of Jason Aldean's song.
Oh, stop.
Oliver Anthony, even though he says he's not Republican or Democrat. She says that Trump made these racist country singers feel comfortable enough to write lyrics that were misogynistic and racist.
Where has there ever been a country song misogynistic and racist? It's all about some cowboy trying to court some chick.
Oh, Maren's pretty popular
with a big black dog. I mean, it's like, have you ever heard
Glad you said dog.
Well, have you ever heard any? Country is the most
Americana, apple pie, and baseball.
Yes,
and cheating on your wife.
Yes. It's like if you took it's like if you took Leonard Skinner.
It's usually the woman cheating on the guy.
That is true. And then key in their car.
Yeah, it's country music's like if you took Leonard Skinner and mixed him with Air Supply. That's country music.
Yeah.
It's like super
Leonard Skinner with Air Supply.
Yeah, it's like that's what country music is. It's
it
like
really kind of is. That's
it's these really good rock musicians that are kind of scaling it back and then like making some testosterone looking dude just a complete puss. I mean, it's really a weird genre of music.
Well, Maren Morris, who really takes herself very seriously.
Apparently.
Here's her quote on the whole subject. After the Trump years, people's biases were on full display. It just revealed who people really were, and they were proud to be misogynistic and racist and homophobic and transphobic. All these things were being celebrated. Oh, my God.
When?
And it was weirdly dovetailing with this hyper masculine branch of country music. I call it butt rock.
Who in the hell? Wait a minute. Have
you heard of butt rock, Joe?
Yes, I have.
I haven't.
Skid Row is butt rock. It's like old butt rock is like Poison. It's like they have the bedazzled pockets on their jeans. Those guys. I'm gonna ask.
Is that what do you say, Joe?
I guess the first thing that comes to mind is Bruce Springsteen.
No, well, okay.
No.
No, it's the guys that from the old days. Butt rock was like
she compared that music with butt rock.
Okay.
Have you ever heard any of her songs? Like she's not really relevant right now. I used to kind of like her, this Maren Morris lady, and I liked her song.
Who is Maren Morris?
Well, see, most people don't.
I don't even know the top singer in country music today.
She had a song, "Get the Hell Out of Here."
And My Church was a really good song, basically about, like communing with God, but not really in a building, just going down your pickup truck on a road.
She's talented.
Is she?
I like her music. I do, but
Maybe
I don't like her now.
I don't know.
Is she?
She's kind of.
Who's the one that did I'm Here for the Party?
Oh, that was a female.
I used to play with her in St. Louis. Oh, I used to know her in St. Louis. I can't even remember her name.
I think she's actually from.
What's her name?
From Missouri.
I'm sorry. Damn it.
Gretchen Wilson?
Gretchen Wilson.
That's it.
I thought she was cool, but no one seems to like her very much.
They used to. She's just not really that in right now.
Okay. I don't know, country music. Here's the deal with country music, and this is what I have no problem saying this. Country songs, it's like one super long song. There's not one country song to me that sounds any different than any other country song.
I agree.
Maybe Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. Maybe that one sounds a little bit different. But country music is literally like if you wrote a really cool country song back in 1980 and then just kept extending it for the next 40 years.
It's like arena rock with a steel guitar or a twang to it.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is Marin is probably trying to get some sort of credibility. She's trying to get headlines, trying to make herself more popular because she goes on to dismiss Try That in a Small Town.
And
Quote,
I'm sorry, I like that song.
just
I
quote,
liked him.
people are streaming these songs out of spite. No, they're not. She said it's not out of true joy or love of music. And you say that's wrong, Lizzie, because you like it.
I do. It's not my absolute favorite.
She
But
says it's to own the libs. And that's so not what music is intended
No,
for.
he's dead on accurate. So
Very more so.
why doesn't the conservative all right, let me ask you this. Who is the conservative antidote to the liberals? Who is that? Because he could what's the
Jason
guy?
Aldean.
Okay, wait a minute. So why if that's the truth, why didn't Jason Aldean say, hold my beer? Hey dude, what is your damn problem with if you start a riot in my small town of 1,500 people? We're going to take matters. What is the problem with that? Right. So then why don't you direct your comments directly at her and say, I need to know, and I'm going to sit here and wait. As a matter of fact, I'm going to sit in this rocking chair over here as you explain it to me. What exactly is the problem you have with defending the integrity of a small town, maybe in the middle of Illinois or Kentucky or Tennessee?
Mm-hmm.
You explain to me while I'm sitting here drinking my Dubonnet, what is the problem? What is exactly the problem you have with me? And then shut up. Because that song is dead on accurate. It's like, don't bring your trash here.
Yeah, don't bring your trash.
And you know what is a good example of that? St. Charles, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't even realize
St. Charles, Missouri filled the St. Louis arena when Jason Aldean was here. I was supposed to go with Terry, who's a listener, and
he was in town last weekend.
Yeah.
Well, I got news on that too, because apparently when he comes into town, the transgendered kids and the anarchists try to be part of the road crew. They want to be like the cord gophers and start a bunch of garbage. And I'm like, man, really?
You mean like to try to infiltrate
backstage and all that stuff?
Problems?
Yes, because you don't know who they are when you hire them. You know?
Oh, damn!
So it's like, it's like, what were they burning flags out there and stuff like that? I mean,
well, Marin said, she went on to say, and it kind of goes with that. She's like, music is supposed to be the voice of the oppressed. What do you think Jason Aldean was talking about? He's tired of watching the crime in the towns go on.
Yeah.
She's like, I mean the actual oppressed, not the fake ones.
Oh, she is. Yeah.
And
you
now
mean the 60-year-old family in an 800 square foot house living in a community that's having
once again she's ultra liberal now, and she's like, and she goes
now,
on
who
to
is
say,
this? I gotta look her up.
Marin Morris, and then she finally says, and now it's being used, talking about this new country music as a really toxic weapon in the culture wars.
That is,
they hate the
she's
popularity.
Unhappy. Seriously.
Well, if you're an hardcore raging liberal and you don't like that country music, which is what you were brought up in, it's triggering you and liberals. You want to try to get away from it.
Yeah, but let me ask her this. God,
get her on the phone, Joe. Can we get her on the phone?
Let me ask her
Marin
this.
Morris's phone number.
I don't know where this chick lives. I don't. Maybe Hollywood, maybe Nashville. I'm sure she's in a gated community or right by a gated community.
Well, I guarantee.
I just would love to know what would happen if she had a gang come to her house, ransack the place, destroy it. Maybe if she have any loved ones, maybe if their loved ones were downtown somewhere and she got carjacked, what would her message be? Would it be like, well, they're downtrodden, they deserve all of this. As a matter of fact, I just gave them another limousine for their partying on the weekends. So what is the antidote to the dumbass conversations we're having with these liberals? What is it?
Success.
No, do you ignore them?
Popularity, success.
I mean, if you're being if you're Jason Aldean, do you ignore them? Do you come up with a politically correct answer,
He's been
or do you
ignoring
just
them.
say screw
But
you?
he didn't. He
At
didn't.
at his concerts, he addresses it.
Yes.
but
Now,
he,
what's he say?
Well, he
And
even had
does
to
he have a
cancel
PR?
this shirt, guys. He did. He had to cancel this shirt. Wasn't for our
one
show.
of ours?
No,
Oh.
but he had a shirt that said cancel this, and he put his middle finger up, and it was basically to the people like Maren Morris.
Okay, so my
So he
question.
is saying it.
That's fantastic. But my question is do you have a PR company following you around? Does Jason Aldean have a PR? He goes, this is my road tech. This is my lighting guy. This is my sound guy. Oh, and this is me, my PR company over here. I mean, do you
I don't know.
Or as a country dude, do you just know how to grow some balls and say, screw you? Bill Maher's doing a pretty good job of saying, screw you.
Yeah, but you go to your own companies. Even Maren Morris, guess who she went to this article with? The LA Times.
Who cares?
The country. She's trying to switch from country into mainstream, and she's using this as an excuse to try to make her jump like Taylor Swift did because she fancies herself Taylor, and
well, first of all, she's not even close to cute
near.
enough.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now.
Jason Aldean's wife, by the way, when it came to the whole transgender issue, tweeted out something saying, I'd like to thank my parents for not changing my gender when I went through my tomboy phase. I love this girly life I have. That's what Brittany Aldean wrote. Okay, great. Leave it to Maren to try to make it a controversy. Quote, it's so easy to not be a scumbag human. Sell your clip-ins and zip it, Insurrection Barbie.
Insurrection Barbie? That's my band name.
Yeah, I want to be in your band.
I am. It is going to be Barbie dolls in camouflage.
Yes, and I want to be the Insurrection Barbie doll. So when you have that show, that's the Barbie doll I want to be.
Yeah.
Yep, I want to be that one.
Yes, Taylor Swift dating Travis Kelce of the Chiefs. Yes.
Who is?
Why do you think he got hurt? Why do you think he hasn't played well?
Come on.
Oh
no.
And soon, soon there's going to be a song.
I
about
think
Travis
he's my
Kelce.
tight end in fantasy football. I'm screwed.
He's not doing well
because he's dating Maren Morris, right?
No, Taylor Swift.
Oh, I missed what you just said. Look
Taylor
at that
Swift
line.
and Travis Kelce.
That's
together.
right. I forgot
They're
about that.
together.
Oh man.
Well, he's going to be in a song written by her soon.
Well, let me ask you this.
Trade him.
Let me ask you this, Vic, because you were a tight end at Mizzou. Did you play better when you were dating a girl, or did you play better when you were just free to roam around the campus? Because sometimes when you date a girl,
I missed out on that whole college life because I had the same girlfriend.
Well, same girl. Did you play better for
if
her?
Things were no, not for her.
It probably depends on the girl, don't you think? Because some girls really, and I will say that they can really uplift and be really great. But then there's some that, and I'm saying this about women, and maybe I shouldn't, but sometimes women have ulterior motives, just as sometimes men do.
When I was on tour, every night you're on tour, you're like, this.
We have Tori all rocked up and ready.
We do.
All right, we'll just bring Tori in and she can jump in. Ladies
absolutely.
and gentlemen, Tori Allen. Welcome, Tori Allen,
Hi,
to our
Tori.
show. We've been promoting and talking about Tori. We're going to let Eric
Turn her
finish
mic
the story, and we're going to bring you back in because you're kind of a big deal, and you're a sweet person. So
Love
Yeah, sweet
it.
person.
Yeah,
Big
I'll
deal,
go
sweet
with
person.
sweet. Yeah.
and I guess she can talk about this too, because we're talking so much stuff today. But if you have a new boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever,
Yeah.
do you seem like when you go on stage and perform, whether it's football, on stage, music, whatever it is, do you feel like you're amped up a little bit if you know they're watching you?
1,000%.
Exactly.
It's like mom came to my
Yes.
recital kind of a thing.
yeah,
Yes.
I could see that.
You got
You know
your
what I mean?
people, you got your backbone.
Yeah.
And when you fall on your face, you're like, but you got me, right?
Yeah.
Because these people don't know me, but you got me.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I got you.
And and Eric poses that question. By the way, everybody, this is Tori Allen. She is our friend. Her hometown's Austin, Texas.
Aw.
She's a professional musician, singer, recording artist. Is it fair to call you country because you do so much?
I'm kind of all sorts of things. I'm a mutt. I'm a mutt
Yeah.
of like, my dad was like a rock and roller in
Yeah.
the 70s.
Yeah.
So I grew up on like White Snake,
You know, that's right.
Heart is like my favorite band of all time.
Yes.
If I could be like Ann and Nancy Wilson in
Together.
one, I would.
Play guitar.
Yeah, right. Just sing your ass
Right.
off and just play your ass
Yeah.
off.
But for you to love Heart, you're only 31 years old.
Yeah.
That's
but
a big deal.
No, it's not. Heart is like she's like
the epitome.
Yes.
The epitome
Yeah,
of
but
like
Heart
rock
was like mid
female.
80s,
It's like a
rocking and
6
rolling.
It's like a 6-inch steak made perfectly.
Right. He's not wrong.
Music today is like McDonald's. Come on, man. She's right.
This
You're
is so
absolutely
true.
right.
Yeah,
Yes.
right off the conveyor
Yeah,
belt. Yeah,
that's
hot,
right.
steamy conveyor belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so I grew up. I love the Eagles and Shania Twain, and in Texas you love. I mean, now the Chicks, whatever. But I moved to Nashville. I was a classical violinist my whole life, so I got real nerdy.
Now are
there.
you fiddle?
Now I'm fiddle, and
Aw.
I'm fiddle. I'm turned fiddle because after I moved to Nashville as a singer songwriter, I realized I get 3 times the gigs if I learned how to play fiddle.
Yeah, Chopin doesn't pay much.
Yeah,
right.
no. There was 30 of me everywhere I went, So, so I started playing fiddle, and then that became part of what I do. But I still, you can hear it in my writing. It's very influenced by rock and roll. It's very influenced by deep Texas country songwriter folk kind of thing. The kind of indie Austin. I always wanted to be the eclectic girl with like the theremin at ACL.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, we love having you in, and you're not a controversial person. We're not going to talk about it with you because you don't know anything about politics. We just didn't like that Maren Morris started ripping other country songs because she's made the jump from country.
You know what?
And I don't believe an artist ripping other artists, regardless if they agree with the message or not.
It was a giant PR move.
Mhm.
So you're aware of?
Not a chance that it wasn't.
Amen.
You don't need to announce that you're
Amen.
doing another kind of music.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And for her to like be like, I'm on this pedestal now, and like, love you, Maren, peace and love.
Yeah.
But known her for a long time, but I just think that was very strategically planned.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is she going to be as successful as Taylor Swift?
I believe so, because of the Zed crossover that she's already done.
Yeah.
Oh,
The world already
Interesting.
knows her, and Katy Perry took her on a world tour. She's
Oh.
that's why I thought it was so ridiculous
Yeah.
for her to make such a huge PR announcement.
So do you think that someone came to her and said, hey, you should do this? And because, I mean, do you think she cares enough about it? I mean, the whole Jason Aldean thing that to me seems super benign.
I think it's irrelevant. He's always saying about that.
Yeah.
That's always been his lyrical content.
It has. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. He's always saying about being from a small town and
Yes.
backing up your boys.
Yeah.
And that's country music. That's what it is. Yeah. And I think the world is very sensitive right now.
It is.
And
Welcome to Cancel This.
cancel
Yes.
culture.
Yes,
Here we
cancel
are.
culture.
Yeah. And no, I think when you've already had massive success in pop or whatever. I mean, you can listen to a Jack FM. That's like a radio station that plays everything.
Yeah.
They're still playing Maren Morris.
Yeah.
And I think that the people that are, the biggest in the industry, they've got some of the best marketing around them in the world.
Yeah.
So when you see something going down one lane, that's marketing. Marketing moves and evolves with you as things come into the news, as hot topics come on. Your whole team goes, okay, we got this.
Yeah.
Now, what if we did this and we ran with it?
Yeah.
And to me, it's a bit similar to Taylor re-recording all of her albums.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's good for her to do. And yes, she may have been, screwed out of a deal or this or that. But you also have to think of like who bought the catalog and who got the paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're keeping it real. I
I'm
love you.
keeping it
here.
real.
Well, that's the same thing Prince went through, right?
So yeah, but I don't know that Taylor wasn't on both ends of that. But she
Interesting.
did convince the world that she was in the wrong.
Yeah.
So now the world, on behalf of Taylor Swift, is going to go buy everything she puts out.
How about that?
She might
That's
also
true.
be double cashing in.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's like, that's what Maren's doing.
Yeah.
She's double cashing in.
Yeah.
She's creating a cause to get behind.
Because the music industry has changed so much since it became a popular thing. Because if you think about it, musicians didn't really make tons of money until like the 80s.
Right.
And then the record.
And that was hard earned.
Yeah.
That was blood and sweat to the pavement.
Garage, take out $1 million loan to record your album, go on tour, pay more of the loan back, and maybe in 5-6 years you made enough
recoup
money.
after. Yeah.
I mean, you can read all those stories now these days, right?
Dude, the TikTok stars, overnight success.
I'm out. Yes. But you basic. I mean,
And then
You
you're
can-
putting a cart before the horse.
Yes.
Because the kid doesn't even know how to be successful.
Exactly. They not take a good picture and do TikTok, but
Mhm.
they record these albums in their bedroom,
Yeah.
right? For the
Yeah.
most part, they release them on TikTok, or
Yeah.
and then they put it on Apple Music, and before you know it, they're over at some stadium in Europe.
Dude, totally. And like, if I can, am I allowed to like
Anything you want to do.
Cool. Let's
anything.
ruin a little bit of the entertainment magic, shall we?
Yes.
And then we'll get into who you are,
Okay.
where you have been, you know everybody. You've been all across this country. We'll play a song before you leave, and then we'll
Cool.
promote your next big interview that you'll do with Joe on Audio Inc. when people can actually hear you sing too live and in person.
Oh, I can't wait. That'll be awesome.
But as of right now, I want to hear her destroy the music industry. Go.
Yeah. So just like a little bit of peek behind the magic curtain. So, I've been in Nashville 13 years, and there is, since the birth of Spotify,
Mhm.
since like we can no longer illegally download on LimeWire and
Yeah.
FrostWire,
Yeah. Yep.
everything moved. But you'll get these kids that are overnight sensations, and every label in town will scramble to pick them up and try to cash in.
Yeah.
And then what happens is it works. They get put on a massive tour. They put them on stage and go, oh,
They're
he doesn't know
horrible.
how to perform.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, they don't know how to talk to a crowd because they've been making videos for a year in
Yeah.
the room.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so literally there are teams of people, and we go in and we go over to the Ryman Auditorium
Mhm.
and we teach them how to be a star.
What?
How
Is that a real thing?
Yes, this is so real. If I could
Wow.
say the names, I would right now.
Please do.
No, I can't.
She
I can't.
can't.
No,
The
Ryman
that's-
She has
I
a
wish she could though.
Can-
Eric.
Eric. She has a
community-
career to
yeah.
continue.
community
Oh,
suicide.
Yeah,
I can't
I
do
get
that to
that.
myself. But it's a very real thing, and I mean, I remember just being younger in my early 20s and being so mad about it, just so angry, because I'm like, man,
Yeah.
I worked my butt off.
Right.
Why did they get the shot?
Right.
And then as I get deeper in, I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
follow the money.
Yeah.
Of
Well,
course.
it's not even that. I mean, back in the day, like a Zeppelin would just be talented. You would listen and go, God damn. And then
Undeniable.
you'd hear Heart do Barracuda. And you're like, damn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now you're not doing the damn anymore. It's just
Mhm.
one influencer leads to a million, and then that million leads to some viral sensation,
You know where
and then they monetize it somehow.
the dam comes from the blue
Yeah.
check mark now.
Is that what it is?
When you look them up and you go, oh,
Yeah.
there's somebody.
Really?
They got
Wow.
look how
That's
many
art now?
Well, but to think about
You
that.
know, that's so
how do we
funny. That is
validate
funny.
people anymore?
Well, now
millions of
you
views.
can actually pay for that blue check mark.
I
now.
know, $14.99 a month, Meta
Yeah,
baby.
right.
Tori, I actually had
Wow.
I had some woman message me with a lot of Instagram followers. She had more than me. And she messaged, I didn't even know who this woman is. And she messaged me. She goes, how did you get your blue check mark when you don't have so many followers? Literally wanted to know. And I'm like, it's that big of a deal to
Yeah.
somebody.
Apparently
to
it
get the
is.
blue
Wow.
check
It
mark.
is.
Really? Who knew?
Yeah.
And I didn't tell her it was from being in local news, but
Yeah.
I
Just
didn't even
send her a whole bunch
respond.
of PR articles. Here, honey, do your research. Yeah.
By the way,
Negotiated.
we got Tori Allen in studio with us today. Tori's been all over America. She's played at Carnegie Hall, Fenway Park. She's played with the Zach Brown Band, Madison Square Garden, The Killers, Bruce Springsteen. I mean, you've jammed with Stevie Wonder. I mean, damn, you're all over. You've got your own lipstick.
Yeah. That's out of spite. Yeah.
Oh my god!
What was spiteful about it? You just couldn't go to Walgreens and find the one you wanted or something?
Well, not when I was wearing it. No.
Yeah.
No. I used to follow this beauty guru on YouTube,
Yeah.
Jeffree Star.
Yeah.
Real popular trans guy. And I'm from Austin, Texas. So I'm, I'm not political. All
Yeah.
right.
Everybody's political, by the way.
But I'm like
it's
political.
just degrees of it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, I know what I know. I don't claim to whatever.
Yeah.
But, when I grew up in Austin, everybody just was funky. Everybody was themselves, but they were all Texas friendly.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You could be, and it wasn't trans back then. It was cross-dresser.
Exactly.
Right.
It was
Right.
irrelevant.
They were part of us.
It was, like we were all one, man.
Yeah.
And so when I moved to Nashville, the Bible Belt was a rude awakening because I loved wearing my purple lipstick and my
Yeah.
blue lipstick from Jeffree Star.
Yeah.
And funky stuff. And man, those girls that were just sweet as could be to my face,
Mhm.
they'd turn around and be like, that girl in that fiddle player is
Yeah.
so weird with her
Yeah.
purple lipstick.
Yeah.
And so many years later, I put the wheels on the bus and started going to makeup labs over quarantine. And I opened up my own lipstick, and I wrote a song about that. It's online. It's called Made in the Shade. And the first shade coming out is called Shady Ho.
So is it out now?
And it's my purple lipstick redone.
That's awesome.
I love it.
It's weird is because you got a chance to see it from the ground level of how that is going to switch, because what people might have not liked you for 5 years for are going to love you for now. It's very weird.
I know. And the resilience to continue just being yourself.
Yeah.
And betting on yourself and going like
Uh-huh.
putting on the blinders and saying you don't care in this industry is half the time you're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
You care.
Yeah. Because you're a human.
I'm human.
And if you don't care, you're not a human.
Yeah.
Like,
and
welcome to AI.
Yeah. And the minute I start, not having hair how I want and I just dressing, how normal people are, I feel so stripped of who I am.
Yeah.
That it's like, I don't even want to play.
Yeah.
I'm just like everybody else.
Yeah.
And not that everyone else like is all the same, but to me, I feel like I'm not myself if I don't get to be wear whatever the hell I want. And
so let me
dress
ask you
how
this. So you're a musician, and a part of it comes the public facing side. It's like all what you're talking about, the TikTok and all when you're sitting in a studio and you're just like, man, I got my fiddle, I've got a cup of coffee. What do you like to listen to? Do you listen to Soundgarden? Tell me you listen to Soundgarden.
Oh, this is a great question. Okay.
I mean, because
I love Soundgarden.
It's so important to me, like what inspires someone else when I'm listening to their music.
And if it's had an impact on your talents and who you are.
How it influences you.
Yeah. So I would say
Shostakovich, maybe.
So I'm classical, right? So I'll listen to classical music. I can't listen to it while I'm trying to sleep because then I'm up all night.
You're analyzing the music.
Analyzing
it's like 1-4-5 perfect Peggle cadence.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, you get it. My guy.
Yeah.
So but when I am actually creating, like if I'm in the studio and I'm actively recording my music, I cannot listen to other music. I will accidentally steal stuff. I'll take lines and go, oh, that's good. And it will live rent free somewhere in the back of my head. And it will resurface. And so actually what I did for a few years, I paid for XM radio. And I think for maybe 3 years, the only thing I listened to was 50s on 5 and 60s on 6. And it's because it was so musical.
Yeah.
It was so musical.
Yeah.
And the lyric is so simple. And I spent 13 years in Nashville learning how to write country music. And country music is nothing more than storytelling. So to me, it was a foundation of songwriting. Now I spend my time almost unlearning the formula and letting what lives.
I'm going to buy every album you ever did.
Dude,
because we were just talking about that, and I want you to respond to this. I think that since 1976, I don't know, maybe even before Mel Tillis era, to today, every country song sounds the same.
Yeah.
It's like one long ass. I can tell you it's a 1, 2. There you go. There's the dominant 2, and there's the 1, and you know exactly where the changes are. You don't feel inspired by the music. Is there ever going to be a day when country music reinvents the sound of country music? Like it maybe do some majors over minors, some, and the people don't know what I'm talking about. Just different modal sculpting of country music. Maybe keep the twang, keep the storytelling, but just make it sound different.
Yeah. I am willing to shoot myself in the foot over this. I just think country music is like a school of fish. Okay.
Yeah.
And until one person thinks it's cool, the whole rest of the class is going to think it's cool.
Yeah.
And if not, you're not cool.
Remember when Kurt Cobain destroyed everything? Remember when Kurt Cobain and made Teen Spirit and changed the sound of music?
And I really believe the only way that change gonna come, is like, because if something goes viral, that is different.
Yeah.
And that will make them think that there's a backbone and like a reason for the season, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's too different.
Yeah.
We can't take a bet on that. We don't know if people are going to like it.
Yeah.
We don't know if that's the direction, because what if nobody's into it? What if
Right.
radio doesn't like it? It's
Right.
all about radio. It's all about who's going to
True.
buy it, who's going to like it. And unfortunately, they're the safest space.
Yeah.
They're like, don't fix it if it ain't broke. And you're like, there's nothing left.
Yeah.
There's not anything individual about what we're hearing.
Yeah.
Well, can we play a little bit of a song that you gave to me? I mean, we didn't want to dumb things down in regards to you singing with our equipment that is not up to your voice. Joe's taking care of that on his show, Audio Inc. But we can play some of your music here on the song. What is the name of the song that we're playing?
This song is called Colors. And this is kind of political. I wrote this about Colin Kaepernick kneeling on the football field.
Okay.
Back in the day. And this was, prior to 2020. And I had written it, and obviously coming where I come from in Austin, it just a different conversation that the world wasn't ready for, and how outrageous to take this public thing and go against what the nation is built off of, to force some conversation to be had that the world wasn't even ready for, because, and this is where I feel like politically I can kind of be somewhat in the middle here. But like, I just, I don't think it was presented well. I don't think it was thought through. I think it was, again, PR. It was.
You mean by the
kneeling?
By the Kaepernick team.
Yes. And so I wrote this song in response to that, and saying, in it, I go, my sisters and brothers, let's stand for each other, because it's not about kneeling or standing. If you're going to stand for somebody, stand up.
Yeah.
Get up and stand up and keep your chin up,
Yeah.
But so then 2020 came about, and obviously, Black Lives Matter and everything in between hit the fan. And I had held on to this song, and that was when I decided it was time to let it out into the world.
Well, let's listen to some of it.
Cool.
Another race down the playground, another seat on the side. Red Rover, you can come on over. No, it doesn't matter who you are. Play a game, be whoever. He's a prince, she's a queen. The beauty when you're young, it don't matter where you're from. Just jump on the rope and swing. With all of the troubles going on today, they're getting in our way. You and me can make a change. My sisters and brothers, let's love one another. Let the world see that we got shining colors. Oh, there's strength in numbers. Let's stand for each other. Let the world see that we all shine in colors. Yeah, we've all been broken, and we've all been in pain. We bleed, we breathe, we sleep, we dream, we do it all the same. Yeah, there's too many bruises, and there's too many scars. We can overcome while we're facing the sun. Be proud of who you are. With all of the troubles going on today, they're getting in our way. You and me can make this change. My sisters and brothers, let's love one another. Let the world see that we got shining colors. Oh, there's strength in numbers. Let's stand for each other. Let the world see that we all shine.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's
So-
good. Thank you.
And there's somebody who you remind me of, except you
Oh,
seem
she's
better than her.
great.
I hear. Has anybody Kobe Calais?
Wow.
I hear Kobe. I hear
A little
her
bit.
voice.
Yeah, a little bit.
She's
yeah.
a what?
I said she's lovely.
Oh, lovely.
She lives in
I think
Nashville,
it's way
actually.
more than
Do you hear?
Yeah.
Do you hear that?
I could hear that.
Or the
I
You,
kinda
you can say
get-
no. Trust me, it's okay.
You know what I get the most is I get like,
I'm not going to talk music.
Yeah, we need to let Eric do it. The chat line's even saying
that's
Eric.
what I do.
I know Eric
No.
needs to be the one to talk
Yeah.
music for sure.
No, Vic likes Blink 182. Don't worry about it. It's
And the Killers who you toured with.
Oh, they're wonderful. They're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Thank
that
you.
was
I
awesome.
appreciate that.
So what's okay, such a great. You could do a
good.
You could do a master class. So when I came up, I used to be in a band called Shooting Star. We toured with Kansas and yada yada yada.
Yeah, cool.
And but what you did is you made an album. You got on a tour bus. You didn't come home for months, right? And you hoped that the radio stations were pushing you hard enough so that you made enough money with your album. What happens with this song today in this generation without having CBS Records out in Los Angeles anymore?
Yeah.
What do you guys do, or Capitol Records, I should say? What do you guys do to make that a success? If it's not a success already.
I think it's
I mean, you sit down with your team and you go, okay, here's step one.
yeah, well, and team. You're looking at her, right?
Yeah. Really?
So,
Okay,
yeah, no.
okay.
So I'm
That's first.
completely unsigned. I don't have any management. I don't have a booking agent. I do this completely on my own. I don't want to. If you're out there, contact me. But I think it's this day and age allows us to have creative marketing.
Yeah.
And if the more creative you can be and the more unique your creativity within that marketing can be, the better you are. I don't believe that this song has had her heyday. Like,
okay.
I think that it's still finding its people and it's finding.
Okay, so that's a great question. So back in the day, again, Vic, you had a song. It was called a release. So you did a 13 song album, and then 4 really smart people in the boardroom would do a focus group and say, okay, you like this song the best, don't you? Okay, we'll do this one first. And then the ballad will come out. And then you have this perfect storm of selling albums.
Right.
Do you do the same thing and say, with a strategy of how this stuff gets released, or you just kind of throw it against the wall and see what sticks?
Well, I think in my early 20s, I wanted to just throw it all at the wall.
Yeah.
And I forced myself not to. I worked in country music publishing for 2.5 years
Yeah.
at a really, really successful company on Music Row. And I learned a lot by just sitting back and watching and seeing what these labels were doing.
Yeah.
And then later on, I started putting bands together for a lot of the major labels in Nashville. So I'm working with people right there in it. And as I started releasing my stuff, I didn't do an album and put it out. I only put out singles. And that was because people in the industry were telling me, you don't need to put out albums right now. Don't put out albums.
I heard the same thing.
And then here comes 2020
Yeah.
and people are putting out double albums.
Yeah.
And people can't stop streaming it because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Except sit there and dive
Yeah.
into a whole album.
Yeah.
And so now I'm in a totally different place in my life where I do not let outside opinions tell me what the good songs are and what should be done.
Yeah.
Because the more I listen to myself, when I play it live, I can feel it. Whenever I'm talking to someone and they're like, gosh, that song that you played can I find it somewhere?
Right.
That's my
How do we get
litmus
you
test,
signed? Seriously, how do
Maybe
we
she
get
doesn't want to be signed.
Hey, if the right deal is the right deal, but being
Yeah.
signed doesn't mean success.
No.
Being signed is just the first step in something.
Didn't
you
Ed
know?
Sheeran do that? Ed Sheeran, wasn't he just a little redheaded kid that got in Wembley Stadium somehow?
Right.
Isn't that what happened with him?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't
just
know
the-
his story for sure, but I think it was something like.
It's just like he got popular with whatever song he did, blah, yada, yada. And it's like he's all of a sudden he's doing with an acoustic guitar at Wembley Stadium. You're like, what the
yeah.
hell is this?
And that's undeniable talent, right?
Yeah.
there. That's undeniable talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me now, like coming off the tour with the Killers, I spent a whole year going around the world, and there is no recording. There's no pushing anything, or you can kind of do shows in between their shows, but you're not seriously putting all the eggs into your basket because you can't.
Well, let me tell you something.
Yeah, if you need anybody to promote you, Lizzie will go with you, because if you see Lizzie looking down doing her phone, she's promoting you. She's not paying attention.
Yes,
She's she is promoting Tori all over the place, because Lizzie she hosts and she's doing social media.
Yeah, and you are fantastic. Your voice is wonderful, and it doesn't matter. Tends to sometimes be, a lot of times, a political show. Your words are so pretty across the span of, it doesn't matter who you are. That was beautiful. I'm very impressed.
Man, thank you, Lizzie. Thank you. That's
It's
so
so
kind of
true.
you guys. Thank you so much.
You know what? There's another industry in Nashville. A few of my bass player buddies have big bass player buddies have moved to Nashville, and that hired gun thing.
Yeah.
It used to be you'd go to Nashville like, well, you're not getting in because the country music has such a musical clique. You're not getting in the mill. You're not playing the mill. You're going to sit on the sideline and maybe play. But now,
not true,
if you move to Nashville and you're just a hired gun, you look halfway decent, you can play your bass or your guitar or whatever. You're going to make some money. You might not be has that ever interested you, just being a fiddle player?
Well, and that's what I was for the Killers. That's what I was doing. I played.
Did they find you in Nashville somewhere?
Yeah, I had a couple people throw my name into the hat when they were they did an Americana album over 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky me. They had fiddle and mandolin and all sorts of stuff on it. Obviously, they're known for like their synthesizers and guitar and stuff, but they were on the lookout for someone who could play all these instruments. And I had 2 people recommend me. Then they went on Instagram and found me on Instagram. And the minute I knew they were looking at me, I immediately went on Instagram. I posted a fiddle thing.
Yeah.
The next one was a mandolin thing.
You know what you're doing.
The next thing was a harmony thing with 2 other girls that I sing with. And I was like, hey, if you're looking, brother, you don't even have to scroll here. First 3 posts, And then sure enough, I got a call. So as I'm going out, I have been a hired gun for 13 years. That's what I did. Yeah. And I think being the hired gun and taking a bet on yourself is the true balance,
think you're right.
Because I love to play for people, but I live to write and sing my truth and the things that inspire me. And, I've always been the bedroom hours kid where I sit there and for hours, I just sit in my room and play guitar and write. And that's what feels the best,
So what's next for you, Tori?
Album, doing an album this fall. I've got some singles coming out. I got a new song, Liability, coming out here soon. And after that, which is along with the lipstick line. That'll be the second shade in the lipstick
How
line.
can people find your lipstick line?
It's called Color Co. Liquid Lip. Color Co. on Instagram. And I'm doing I just have the dream band that I couldn't even believe they said yes, to be honest.
Who?
Okay, so it's some guys with Third Band.
And we're showing pictures of you as you talk, by the way.
Okay, cool. There's a guy, Dominic Davis. He plays with Jack White.
Okay.
And I have wanted him to produce me for a really long time.
Yeah.
And so I reached out to him, and we've been talking about it for like a year. And we finally are going to do it this fall. And I've got some wonderful people that, hang around the Jack White crew.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my buddy, Adam Schoenfeld, who's a huge session player in Nashville. And we're hoping to get, like Fats Kaplan, just like some really big heavy hitters and just some people that are super musical. And the reason why I want to create with them instead of some of the producers I've worked with, previously in Nashville is because as a fiddle player, I get cornered often into a country sound.
Yes.
And my sound is not country. It's kind of all sorts of things. Mm-hmm. And so to me, use your ears. It's music.
Yeah.
What does the music need? Then that's what it calls for.
Yeah.
What genre is it? Irrelevant. How does it make you feel?
Yeah.
It'll find its place if it makes you feel something. Yeah. And so I'm trying to go into a place where the music comes first. The feeling it gives you comes first. The power behind the words. Is it true? Do I believe it? Is this commercial enough? But do I still believe it? And I can't sit here and sign up for the conveyor stuff. I can't do it because if it worked, I would be soulless out there touring something that is empty.
I love that. Is it commercial enough that you have to ask yourself that?
Yeah. And that's part of it. You can't, if you want to ignore that, you can, but then you're choosing to be in a different space. If you want to play with the big kids, you got to think like a big kid, but there's a way to do that and still be individual.
I agree, man. Change cup.
You're a breath of fresh air, Tori. That's for sure.
So the Jack White guy, that's a rock thing, right?
Yeah.
So I would country.
No rules, baby.
I don't even like country rock. Because I think of Skinner when I think of that. I think country needs a complete revamping.
I do too.
Because I just think and for their own good.
But isn't it selling? And I just hear me. Isn't it selling at an all-time high though right now?
Absolutely.
And if it's selling at an all-time high, supply and demand says it's not changing.
But you have to think about the machine behind that. That's not on accident. it's not on accident that these guys are in the news. It's not on accident that Jason Aldean, whom we've not heard from in years,
Decades.
it's a number
Maybe
one
decades.
on Billboard, and the whole world goes, who?
Yeah.
Who's that? Unless you know country music, you don't know who that is.
Or even worse.
You cannot tell me that just naturally happened. I'm sorry, but
one thing that did naturally happen was that cat from with the orange beard. What was his name? Richmond, north of Richmond.
Oliver Anthony.
Oliver Anthony.
That thing came out of nowhere.
Yes.
And now he's apologizing almost for like, I think you guys got me all wrong. Don't cancel me. Because he was like saying,
poor kid.
You know what I mean?
He said, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I make music for what I feel and how I grew up. And I grew up poor and I saw other people making all this money and they happen to be politicians. And I don't want anything to do with politicians.
Yeah.
But then the people who started buying his music were more right and promoting him.
Oof.
And then he's like, I'm not a Republican.
Yeah.
I'm not a Democrat.
Don't
so then
say
now,
that.
but now he doesn't know what to do. And then the prices of his tickets got so high at a concert last week, he canceled the concert.
Well, he's in the Pearl Jam. He's in the Pearl Jam.
They're too expensive.
Dude, this is what happens.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. This is what happens when you get someone who's totally normal sent into the stratosphere.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, even John Rich from Big and Rich, he made this post a few weeks ago. Every label in Nashville is sharking that kid.
Oh, poor kid.
Dude, they are throwing millions
Yeah.
at him, and good for him because he's not taking any of them. If he doesn't, they'll make out. And you've got to have the numbers first, and then you can control that deal.
Well, he was making what, 40 grand a day on
40 grand
Apple?
a day. Speaking of which, how can people find
It's unbelievable.
Can we go and find your music in a similar situation and download it in iTunes?
Yeah.
And how can just let our listeners and our viewers know, and for people who are going to watch this after the live show, how they can find you, your music, and support what you're doing?
Thanks. Yeah. So I'm Tori Allen Music on essentially every social media outlet. Tori Allen Music on Instagram. I'm Tori Allen Music Official, as well as Tori Allen Music 2 on Facebook. I have a couple pages. I can't make it not go into one. But ToriAllenMusic.com, that has all of my touring dates, where I'm going to be. I used to be part of a podcast as well that was about creatives and such. You can find that there. And just Tori Allen Music on everything. Nice. And I'm Tori Allen. You can find me on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. And
Do you want to do any tours next year with as a solo artist with big country acts?
No, I want to open for Jack White, or I want to open for Keb Mo, or I want to open for people who play real music. Sorry to country, my bad. But well, honestly, Taylor Swift, what's up?
Yeah.
No, but I would like to. I don't think that, if country is where I find myself, that's cool. I just want it to be the right audience.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be forced, and I don't want to have to change who I am so that people like listening to me. I think if it can find its place. But yeah, I tour a lot internationally on my own now. I just got back from the UK and Switzerland, and I'll be going to Norway here in November. And I think next year I'd like to really string all those together and make my own little mini world tour out of it. And
do it.
After I have this album done this fall, I'm really looking forward to putting it out and getting videos out and going out and promoting it and just sharing the realness with the people, because I think that is what people want. And
you're surrounded by some, if you don't know, the Gherkins of the world, Kevins of the world, some guys that love what you're doing. So there's some pretty good support around, even in this area.
Yeah.
That, once it gets going, it'll get going.
Yeah. Sure. And it's wild. Like, we're here in Missouri, and being outside of Nashville is unbelievable what it does for the psyche.
Yeah.
And it's like you can think clearly. Or you can breathe and create freely. And there's a lot of pressure. And I think I put it all on myself. I know I did, but I know too much too.
Yeah.
So when I'm in Nashville, I know who I'm writing for. I know when I'm going to co-write that, there's things called pitch sheets. We'll be at a publishing company and they'll print off an Excel sheet that's got, Carrie Underwood and, Thomas Rhett or whoever, and they're recording in a month and they need one more up tempo, or they need one sad country song or they need
Yeah.
this. And
Mm.
you're writing with these writers specifically in hopes of pitching to these people and getting that last song on their album.
Oh, no.
And as cool as that is, what a waste of time.
Yeah. Unless you get the publisher.
Unless you get the publisher, but at the same time, it's
Yeah.
like, so what? I get this Thomas Rhett cut.
Yeah.
And then what? Do I get to write with you on my stuff? Well, no, you're not Thomas Rhett.
Right.
So then I'm
Yeah.
sitting there with the best songwriters in Nashville, and we don't even get to
Yeah.
to dive into something, and that's not always the case. You find your people, of course. It's all relative, but I am very much looking forward to getting my music done this fall and just getting back to Tori this year and
Yeah.
getting back into my music, putting a show together and getting out on the road.
Yeah.
Well, we will promote you.
Make
as
sure there's
much-
pyro. I need pyro.
Come on,
Pyro
baby.
would be
Yeah.
And
Let's
we're
do it.
grateful for you joining us. And we're told you're doing a show. When are people going to be able to see Tori on Audio Inc? Do you know yet?
October 1st.
Okay.
It'll actually air that day, October 1st.
No, it'll air the Wednesday prior.
Okay, so
Wednesday after.
Wednesday.
Wednesday after.
Okay.
Thank you. Come on, man. Stay off the weed.
No, I have not had. I've had zero sleep.
I'm kidding.
Because he's so creative and he's working all through the night.
Indeed.
Mhm.
Yes.
Love
Well,
it.
Tori, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much
We
for
ap-
having me.
Yeah, likewise. Who knows? Maybe we'll maybe somebody's listening and those kind of things happen. So once again, Tori Ellen Music. She is a Nashville native now, out of the great state of Texas, from Austin, and visiting us in St. Louis. By the way, Kevin Maluk, what is Kevin's title with you?
Dear friend.
Dear friend.
Dear
Head,
friend.
head pilot.
Yeah.
He is a great friend to have.
Yeah, Kevin Maluk with Strategic Air Services.
Yeah, they're
All right, guys, we'll call it an end to the podcast today. We appreciate everybody staying with us as we talk with Tori for Projo, for Eric Johnson, who we asked in for the segments today. Tori Allen, Lizzie, Lizzie, you're crazy. You're like typing up a storm. You're amazing.
Well, I just had
And-
to tell everybody goodbye
Yes.
Yes.
And
And
I'm Vic
balls.
Faust.
and balls.
Yes.
Goodbye, everybody with balls and without.
Whoever you are.
Whoever you are, goodbye.
I thought